Oh, what? What have I just done there? What the hell's that? Right, so I actually meant to do this before. Hopefully you can hear me. Fuck, I've no idea. Wait a minute. You're not going to be able to hear me for a minute. Hang on. I'm a lot later than I meant to be. Better late than... Oh shit, wait a minute. I just forgot that's going to show you all the mess. Whatever. Oh, it's only the wall. That's fine. There we go. I wouldn't really care if it did show you. Yeah, there's a ring light. Oh, wait a minute, actually. Yeah, thank God, actually. If that had went any... Wait a minute, I need to be careful here. Can you hear me? There's nobody there, but I'm gonna check on my phone. I've got the timer on for an hour, so might be an hour, might be longer. But I think just an hour so that I can watch Love Island because it'll just be about finishing now. So and if you watched my other one, you've watched me relay the night before. Um right, now I just need to check that that you can hear me. Where am I? Right, there I am. And if you watched my yeah. Other one, you've watched the night before. Right, so can we now the thing I've noticed, right, which is really creepy, I've noticed that when I'm doing this, it's basically telling me that nobody's watching. And then when I'm looking on the phone, sometimes it'll say like 2 or 3 people are watching. But I just, yeah, like I say all the time, I just think they're lying because, I mean, it's not just me this happens to, it happens to loads of people. But it definitely happens to more people that are here to help people with ascension and spiritual awakening, and if they're truth tellers, truth bringers, and I'm both these things, because it's basically the same thing. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Like I've said before, like it just doesn't make sense to the number. So it's just a bit weird for me when sometimes I think nobody's here and actually there are people watching. I know people watch it after kind of thing, but it's like I was like, all right, does everyone just watch this on the replay apart from people that are talking? But it's not that way. Even if people aren't talking, there are people, so it's fucking weird. Um, right. Um, yeah, there's a lot going on, but um, let's just pull some cards and see. So, like I said, I'll just see what comes through in the time that I'm guided to stay on. But yes, I've had a very nice chilled day, actually. I'm not going to light the sage again because I've done it before I came on, so I'm just going to spray some of this rose spray. Fuck. Do we need the Mary? No, I'm not getting the Mary Magdalene cards over there. I'm not. I just feel Mary Magdalene sort of energy around, but I'm not getting the cards because they're over there. I'm comfy. What I'm going to use, Isis. That's what I'm going to use because that's basically a very it's similar. So frequency, right? So, um, these are my strong energies, and I haven't used the Isis cards are not something Goddess Isis. I must stress because there's other things that get called that. Um, yeah, the Goddess Isis cards are something that I usually only use in the private groups, like for some weird reason. So yeah, see now it's doing it now. But wait a minute. Wait a minute, actually, did it ever tell me on this? I'm just now I'm tripping. I'm like, does it ever tell me? No, it does. Oh shit, I'm talking shit. It does actually. I've just moved it down and it does say 3 people watching. I've put it in the shot. Right, okay, I'm gonna monitor that though. So right now the phone's so hello 3 people. I'm probably one of them actually, mother phone me. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. So what was quite interesting, what guided me to use the ISIS cards was someone I was speaking to before, like, yeah, I just basically got something to do with Egypt, like a sign about that, and I was like, all right, and I just somehow was like, oh, I think I need to use these cards, so I feel it might be quite a big message. Now I'm wondering, the ones that always wow me in this deck are when Healing the Divine Masculine comes out. So, and I don't even know if that card's in the deck because I don't think this is the whole deck, but there's loads of amazing ones. So, like I said, it'll make sense. Hello, how are you doing? It'll make sense to someone because that'll be why I've picked it up. But, right. So, what have we got then? Goddess Isis. So, yeah, I titled it Twinflames just because I felt like it. And yeah, so Jupiter direct in Taurus. Jupiter is the planet of luck. Again, you know what I'm going to say. People that are here all the time, there's no such thing as luck. Luck is preparation, meeting opportunity. It wasn't my thing. It's just what I say all the time. I think it's Denzel Washington. That's who always, I'm sure that's who always gets quoted as saying that. But if it's not him, then forgive me. It's someone. But I like it. I think it is Denzel Washington. But um, yeah, so opportunities can come your way if you've prepared for them, if you've, to spot the signs of when, right, this is an opportunity. If I don't shoot my shot, I'm going to miss it. And it's quite funny actually. I used to see golf balls like nearly every day when I walked on the beach and I hunted for ages. And then I saw one today in the water. So I was like, like, it reminded me like shooting your shot, but taking your shot. I don't know what you say in golf, but whatever. um, and but that can go for any area of life. So and also so that's really important because although I've put in the written stuff, Jupiter direct, right? So it means that things from like roughly October last year, you could have like made a choice about something again in any area of life. And you could suddenly be having a bit of a turnaround, being like, wait a minute, I went the wrong way, or I took the wrong path, or I was meant to take that path, but I've walked as far as I can and learned what I can. Now I need to go the other way. So it can be loads of different things. It's going to. So the obvious one is definitely what comes through like every single channeling I do. Nearly need enough for every second one. For a lot of divine masculine energies, male or female, it's definitely if they chose the karmic energy over the divine feminine, which, like I always stress, although it's not very nice if you are the divine feminine, male or female, it's part of the journey and it's part of the learning. Like I always say, someone said it to me once, and it is fucking true. Would you rather somebody picked the other person and found out that's not what they want, and then they know who it is they want and what they want, or would you rather they were always wondering about the other person? And it's kind of like I just think it is true, but it's part of the journey too. So, like I always say, if you weren't a twin flame, I'd give very, very different advice. There's the card. Portal of light. She glides on wings through time and space. So, got the word portal in it. We're not in a portal now because it's the fourth today, Lexi, isn't it? Oh, they're itching my nose already. The 2-2 is a portal though. Truth. Oh, wowsies. Wowsy wowzer. Truths Unveiled, the revelation of Isis. Now, the word revelation has just been coming up like crazy. And I know why that is coming up for me personally, but it's coming up for all of us. So I just feel there are huge, I might even put in the title if I can, but I think I might keep it. I don't know. I think I can't fit any more in, and that's just what came to me. Like, I feel some of the huge revelations some people are having are, am I valuing myself or have I been valuing myself? How could I value myself more? And that is the kind of questions that are going to come up in this kind of astrology right now. Because like I said, the Jupiter direct in Taurus, if you did choose to go one way and it hasn't worked out for you, or you've learned all that you can, and like let's use business as a different example, or a job or some whatever friendship, whatever whatever this is going to make sense about. It's like, it is an opportunity to choose again. And so it's kind of like, and like you said, every time you're at a choice point, it is about timelines. And like I said, I just feel like every day I'm talking about timeline shifts and all that because I can just feel it's trippy. Like right down the fact, like I find it hilarious that right before I had my session, before I done this, like I thought I'm not going to sit in my trousers that I've been in all day, right? Because it's like, that's me for the night. I had my bath earlier. I may as well just put my jammy trousers on. So yeah, I follow the 4. May the 4th be with us. And so, but the ones I grabbed were my Back to the Future ones, right? I feel the need to show you. They're not the most attractive. They're actually really ugly jammies, right? But anyway, I didn't know that when I got them. They looked, because the t-shirt's white, so it sometimes sits in the washing for about 6 months. Like, because it's just an awkward color. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, but anyway, it's got Back to the Future written all over the trousers, and then on the t-shirt, it's got like Tour 85, which I always find quite funny because there's a lot of people that age that watch this. And not 85. Well, how do I know? There are a few older people in the community, right? So you might be. And good for you if you're watching at that age and taking all this in. But I meant 1985. I don't know if I even said that there, but because people will be like, what the fuck? Oh, that's funny. I can actually think of another set because I was going to say something about like the 8th of May or 8/5 or 5/8, 5th of August might be significant too. That's just, right. Wow. Oh my God. Right. Okay. Right. Sorry, I'm just noticing synchronicities for me as I said that. I've never noticed that before. That's actually insane. That synchronicity. That's really distracting me. Right. So yeah, so you want to see where the Taurus is in your chart, right? And that's things to do with money, valuing yourself, home, your assets, the physical material world. So, oh my God, that's what I've done. I knew there was something wrong with that. Sorry. I'm on a roll, but I'm on the like I fixed it all up. I knew that. That's why I shouldn't come on here when I've just had a session and I've been in the higher dimensional energies. Jupiter is not in Taurus at all. Jupiter is, wait a minute, I can't even be having that. I can't change that. That's really annoying me. Jupiter is direct in Gemini. In Gemini. It is in Gemini. Correct. Correction. But I don't, by the way, I'm not going to say I never make mistakes about the astrology, but that does not happen very often. So, holy shit, I've just had a revelation. Look at what I just said. Look, I'm course correcting because I just was like, what the fuck am I saying? I wrote that quick and I'm like, that's not right. It was Uranus and Taurus a few days ago went direct, and that's the thing that can cause shakeups in finances and home and assets and all of that, right? That's the great awakener. Oh fuck, that's the spiritual awakening shit, right? And it's oh god, now I'm just in Jupiter. Wait a minute. Yeah, Uranus and Taurus, Jupiter and Gemini. I need to change that. Hold the fort, Lexi. If somebody comes in, chat to them. I don't think it does. I think I've noticed this before. It doesn't let me change it. But they're teaching you right now in my mistake there. And this is so interesting because I was literally just talking with someone about recognizing my own mistakes with things. So there's something I'm going to use that deck that talks about mistakes because it just fascinates me how they do shit like that. Right. No, it's not fucking coming up on my thing. That's so annoying. That's going to really annoy me. They need to fix that. I think there. Wait a minute. There's a way. There's a way I can get into. Right. I think it should let me now. I know it doesn't bother anyone else, but it's fucking bothering me. I'm not having that. That's not right. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Fuck. See if anyone fucking comes on here and says that wrong. Oh, I'll pray for them. That's all I can say. I fucking know that. Go and watch it from the start and you'll see that I noticed my own mistake. I don't, it's really weird. I don't have like people that do that. Probably because it would be it's fucking annoying. But yeah, it's not letting me go in. And also the subscribers just now are free, Ascended Masters vibes. Right. I will change. Oh no, you've no idea how much this is annoying me right now. Wait a minute, there's just no way I can't change that. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to, sorry, this is my my sun in the house of Virgo is really shown right now, but I'm just going to look, I'm going to put in big capital letters, correction. Wait a minute, this is part of the channeling. This is banter. Course correction, right? Because that's what some people are having to do, right? Jupiter, right, and Gemini, not Taurus. Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus, though. There we go. And then I'll shade you after. People make mistakes, but mistakes make people. Nah, it's not that bad, like I say, but that would be if it was really bad, I would, because actually, be honest, when I moved the laptop, it went onto my window, and I just don't like that because I'm like, I'm not fucking showing people where I live. I've already got enough stalkers. I'm not fucking giving them the fucking directions. You know what I'm saying? Like it's but it didn't. I mean, I might need to at the end. It didn't look like it did. It just. I don't like I said. I don't mind you seeing my makeshift bed right now that I don't even need to be on. But it's. I'm sorry. I just keep sleeping better on the couch. I don't. I thought about it. There's something I don't. Right. I have no idea what it's going to mean to anyone. Right. Well, I have got a feeling of what it might mean to some folk. I really have. But But anyway. Um. I basically was standing in my room yesterday, and I was like. It felt like I was grieving my bedroom. That sounds really weird, doesn't it? But it's like I almost don't want to go back. Like it's weird. Like I think I might have to move my bed. I can't though. The way my room's situated, there's no other way. Can you hear that? My songs just went. I don't think you can hear it. My songs just went off on that song Dandelions, which is a nice song. It's Dandelions Roof B. I think it was all over TikTok. Again, I'm not on TikTok, but I just saw that it had that in the it must have been on a short that someone had put on here from there. That's how I'm connecting that. But yeah, that's about someone being in love. So whatever that's got to fucking do it, it just went off on an alarm. Wait a minute, right. So course correction, Jupiter direct in Gemini, not Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, Venus. Fuck's sake, man. Venus again. I know that's so funny because people that don't know astrology at all or that deep will be like, I couldn't give a fuck. I just listened to the bit that that seems to make sense. But there are just for the people that know astrology, they'll get what I mean. I'm like, I'm not fucking having that, right? Because yeah, that's annoying me. Um, I mean, it's like, and I'm actually putting the wee signs in and everything. I like my emojis. Jupiter direct. We'll put a wee, and I fit the wee four-leaf clover in. Yep, there we go. And Gemini, there we go. The Gemini, right. So, course correction. Jupiter direct in Gemini, not Taurus. Uranus in Taurus, though. There's a Venus in Aries pre-shadow. There we go. I think that's. Wait a minute. This is the weirdest shit that's happening right now. This is in the air today. Something about mistakes. I'm noticing loads of synchronicities here. Um, yeah. And then that just stops. Nobody would have done that. It's really just me. I'm just owning my own wee weird things that annoy me. Oh wow, the emojis look good. Loving that shit. Right, okay. So I'll change the title after. Okay. Whatever that means. We don't need to overthink that. Where was I? So we've got Portal of Light, and where was the other one? I put the deck. Right, Lexi, remind me not to do a live stream after I've just been floated in the higher dimensions because although there it is, it's quite entertaining. Yeah, Truths Unveiled, the revelation of Isis. Oh, by the way, if you're still here, is that, see when my hair's in front of the microphone, is that making a difference? Like with how, is it clearer when my hair's behind? Or is it okay to leave it here? Right. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has those days. Hannah Montana. I think I like the other one better, but yes, thank you for sharing that one. I didn't watch Hannah Montana. That's probably why but right, third house Taurus and fourth and fifth house Gemini. Right, okay, so well, I think basically, if you're wanting me to break that down, you know I'm going to do it anyway. I feel there could be massive. I would say that's totally spot on for you, but again, you can tell me. Third house communication, things to do with like neighbors, surrounding area. You know, I feel communication is the biggest thing, right? That you could have huge shake-ups in the way that you communicate with people. So things that might have been okay before, like you could really be like might not be okay now. Do you know what I mean? Like there could just be huge shake-ups, like because that's what Uranus does. It's like it shakes shit up. So things that you've been going inwards about, people will now see on the outside. So I could see how that would make sense, but that's what's sticking out to me there. And then the Jupiter in the fourth house and the fifth house could bring about opportunities creatively with the fifth house one, but also could bring about opportunities, yeah, within your home environment, your family. Yeah, that's what's coming to me with that. And isn't that funny? Delete and go again. If we're using that analogy of, I feel this is well, I don't feel, I know it is channeling a message for who's going to connect with us. It's we can't always do that, can we? We can't do in that life at all. But what in life at all? But what we can do is we can be like, right, this isn't right for me. I'm going to course correct. I'm going to own it that I went that way, learned what I needed to learn, or I went the wrong way. Wish I hadn't fucking done that. Depends which way people look at it. Because, like I always say, I'm not a person that lives with regrets. Like, you know, it's not that shit stuff hasn't happened to me, but you know, what can you do about it? Do you know what I mean? Just learn better for the next time, and then make an empowered decision in the now with who you are now, like take your power back, kind of thing. But oh, was it? It was clearer with the hair back. So we're now right. So what? It's clearer now. Oh, right. It's so annoying. You know how I said that thing about like, you know, we're in the territory where it's not wise really to get a haircut. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're not doing something if you're doing something that you always done before, then you know, there's not really much that can go wrong. But I don't think I can last till like mid-May with my hair that like I want the bob back. The bob is calling me. I don't know what I can do. Oh, I do know. Yeah, I'm singing everything because the moon is conjunct my Mercury in Taurus. I'm singing. Are you singing today, Lexi? Because you've got, I think our Taurus. I don't know if we've both got. I think your Taurus might actually be similar degree to mine. But yeah, that's to do with like the throat chakra and stuff and singing. And that's why I'm singing so much. I sing all the fucking time anyway, guys, whether I'm on here or not. But I'm just like singing everything. It's the Lemurian vibe. Um, yeah, it's just too long. Too long. I did like my messy bun yesterday though, but it was a bit too salt and pepper for me. I've decided it's silver anyway, because that is a thing, you know, when you're again, this might be a bit too galactic and a bit too deep for some people, but give a fuck. I'm gonna give the message because some people get it. We are changing, like our light bodies, our crystalline energy, all of this new earth frequency, like we're changing. And because I've been ahead of the collective timeline, like I said, for quite some years, and I'm talking like at least a couple of years, if not more than that, like in the new earth frequency. So when people are like, oh, we're in the new earth, it's like I've been in this energy for a long time, and like kind of very isolated and um like selective, and you know, just it's hard to describe, but just very much anchoring in this frequency, and now helping more people get kind of used to this energy. It's yeah, It's weird, but what I'm trying to say is like your skin can change and seem a bit like glittery and stuff. And I just looked at glitter when I said that, and sometimes like you can have like your hair can go like a bit silvery and stuff like I've noticed before. It's hard to describe, but I think these are things that we might notice. So, but like I said, I've still got my things and stuff. So like I dyed my hair. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh no, no, that's too grey. I think it's because I think I usually do it for the Scorpio moon, and that was quite a few moons ago. And I was like, why is my hair this grey? And I was like, all right, that's fine. So yeah, I just chuck it on. I never spend too long. I just chuck it on. I probably missed a lot, but whatever. You know what I mean? I feel better now. You know what I mean? We've all got things that make us feel a wee bit better. So you've got to, and yes, I know hair dye's toxic. I'm well aware, but give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's like I think I do that many good things for humanity that God's like, you can have that one. I did use one for a while. I did try one that was like didn't have the whatever the more toxic sort of stuff in it was, but it didn't really give the same effect. So, but um, moving on. Right, so don't get bangs, ladies. Yeah, do you know, I did do that when I was 15, Lexi, and I cried for weeks plastering the fringe back. We call it a fringe here. I've pinned it back for weeks. Yeah, I was 15. No, I would never. I was already like, believe it or not, this is what makes people must find this hilarious that don't know me. I was like pretty much mute the first 2 years of high school. I fucking hated it. Hardly went. I skived a lot of the time too. Um, like for the whole, I stayed on till 6 year, but I basically skived a lot of it. I couldn't stand school, um, and mainly because they didn't discover that I had all the things that I have until uni, and it was me that noticed. I was like, wait a minute, I'm showing major signs of dyslexia, and I was like, oh, it turns out I've got fucking dyslexia, dyspraxia, ADHD, fucking everything. There's no a lot of no got in that area because they all overlap. I read a book about that at the time, and they all come under an umbrella. Because it's like I've had the jokes before about you sure you don't got Tourette's because you swear all the time. And it's kind of like, well, depends how you look at it because all these things can come under a bit of an umbrella, but it's not because I can control. Well, depends how you look at it. I can control it and I can, but it's not the same because and again, I wouldn't make jokes about that because I've met people before where they actually have got full on Tourette, and it's really not funny. It's like it's if I ever had a client that came to me with that, I would love to be able to. Yeah, I'm going to put that out there. I would love to have somebody. So if anybody is actually watching, actually that has tics or anything like that, and I would love that to be of an experiment to see if I don't. This is so random the way this has went, but I'd love to be able to, yeah, see if I could do something about that and help somebody because it must be really debilitating. You know what I mean? And but anyway, so um, grey or not, you're beautiful. Thank you, Lexi. From one Venus and Aries to another, Aries, Sun, Venus. Thank you very much. I will take that. Um, and what else was I going to say? Yeah, so before coming on here, before I had my work, my session, I like my hair was wet and it dried during the session and my makeup was perfect. And then when I when I came off the call, I looked in the mirror and I was like, wow, looking like a rock band. They're looking like some Alice Cooper shit. Because like I've got a darker eyeshadow on and it had went under my eyes. And I was like, oh, so I topped it up again and I thought, I went on the session looking like I was ready for a night out, and I came off looking like the end of a night out. How I used to look at the end, or maybe even pushing it as far as like the very next day. Like, and then as I was sort of thinking that, as I was like just topping up my makeup, I was having like the funniest memories like coming back. Yeah, coming back to me. And I suppose it's because I'm coming on here. It's always got something to do with like my memories to do with twin flame stuff. I've told this story before, but it is because it's true. And actually, come to think of it, it probably is because it's like, I'm not going to say the only time, but it fucking probably might have been the only time, to be fair. Nah, it's not the only time because he used to greet me that way. What's happening, beautiful? That's what I used to get. And some usually it'd be like when it's like, all right, you're talking to me now, are you? But it was yeah, it was one day in the morning when we woke up and my twin flame said he said something basically he said something about me looking beautiful and it was in a nice way, which wasn't really our thing, right? And then I would have said something stupid probably to bat him off because it would have been that I was in the masculine energy probably like because there was a point when I was running away too. It just wasn't really quite the same, there wasn't. It was a different kind of running away because he wasn't chasing me. Well, actually, no, he was in a way. Yeah, I would anyway. He might argue different, but um, like yeah, what was funny about it was because I want to come away from this, but it'll be relevant. What was funny about it was when he when he left, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not looking beautiful because I've got my makeup all over my face and it's it. But it was what was funny was then I went through and I was talking to my flatmate and I found my eyelash in my hair. I think like one of the eyelashes was like stuck to my cheek, and I found the other eyelash in my hair when I was talking to my pal. So I was like, "Well, he's a good liar," because I did feel beautiful in the moment. I believed him, so I was so wow. That is the weirdest channeling ever. I don't know what the fuck's that got to do with anything, but it's quite interesting what's just come through there. I really didn't know where that was going to go, but hmm. Right, portal of light. So healing the divine masculine. Look, it wasn't the card, but they just pulled my hand to it because I mentioned it. Osiris rises. And that is what's happening. The masculines are coming into their power, but so are the divine sisters, male and female. You know what I mean? God, I'm actually really hungry. I didn't really eat very much. Oh, that's sexual energy. I didn't eat very much earlier, but I'm going to have to. Right. Portal of. I don't know if I'll read them all because they're really long, but Portal of Light. 121. 121, 121. Right. So she glides on wings through time and space. It is only the physical reality that is bound by time and space. You're a being of conscious on levels beyond the physical world. Oh, and that's why I was saying about Back to the Future. Because last night, and again, I'm not kidding when I say I watch Back to the Future, like it feels like once a week or once every two, because it's always on the movie channel. And it is, when I say it's my favorite, I'm not kidding, it is my favorite. Like I just could watch that over and over. Like I just love it. Like I just think it's exciting every time I watch it. And I love Marty McFly, who I know is like nowhere. I mean, God, his health is really. I mean, he's older and he's got terrible health, isn't he? But you just, I think I love that about 80s films. It doesn't matter what age these people are now. You're just like, the wee tiny Claire that fancied him still fancies him because he's stuck in time. It's but there must be something about the timeline shifts going on because with me catching Back to the Future last night. And also the other fucking weird thing that happened, right? I fell asleep. What happened again? I fell asleep. I was having a nap and I meant to be like I meant to get up. Like that wasn't meant to be me going to sleep for the night, right? Because I had other things to do and I had to go out and stuff. And so and it wouldn't be usual that I'd need to do that. But basically, it was kind of trippy because it was like when I think I fell asleep like towards the end of it or something. Something happened. Like I woke up and it was like towards the end or it was the end. And it just felt really like I was in Inception. Never mind Back to the Future. It felt like I was in Inception. I was like, it felt really surreal. Um, and so that's a message of some sort, like feeling like everything's a bit of a dream. And also that's really relevant because Neptune was in the last degrees, 29 degrees of Pisces, conjunct the North Node. So um very kind of destined and fated changes, and it's all to do with the things I've already said, like destined and fated changes, and whatever you were going one way and now you're like, shit, that's not the way I'm meant to be going. I can crystal clearly see where I am meant to be going. And like I said, for a lot of people that is in love because of what this channel is about, but that can be like with business and stuff like that too. And also that's I have to point out there's a lot of people on the twin flame journey that male, female, that might not be seeing that yet. So, it's kind of, whether you see it as part of the fun of the journey, it's like, is that my one yet? Is that the other half of my soul yet? And then you're like, another year goes by and you're like, oh no, it wasn't. And it's like maybe this, and then the years go by and then you're like, oh, I fucking give up whenever it is. You know what I mean? It's like, so, and that's not the same as giving up. You surrender, and that's what you're meant to do, and then that's usually when things happen. But even the very fact, this is so like conversations I've been having with clients, it's like, but even the very fact that you've got to the point, and it's not that you don't care anymore, it's just that you're fucking exhausted. That's how anything manifests in your life, because you just let go. Like, it's so whoever needed to hear that. You're guided to work with your healing powers beyond the confines of time and space. I don't know what I was going to say that. And allow your sense of self to expand. And again, Jupiter is about expansiveness, so that you're going to see wherever you've been limiting your consciousness, like kind of keeping yourself in a small box around people that keep you small. You're going to find that you're wanting to break outside the box. It's safe for you to do this now. And then look how I just came to that line after saying that. You will not become ungrounded through such spiritual growth. You are not leaving your earthly awareness. You're instead adding to it. You're growing in power and awareness. You have had a breakthrough, insights where you realize that you're not who you thought. Oh my God, I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't believe. I can believe it. I can't. It just feels like I'm saying. It feels like I'm saying that every single fucking day. But I'm sorry. This is genuine. It is blowing my mind, because yeah, it's exactly everything I've just said. It's literally everything I've just said. So you've had a breakthrough, insights where you realize that you're not who you thought you once were. Jupiter direct in Gemini. I'm having to slow down because I'm reading the wrong title. So there might be something about slowing down there. See, I think what they're showing you is, because I don't usually make mistakes like that. But it's okay. Like I said, there's a theme today. It's okay to make mistakes. It's really not that big a deal. Like, I could fix that after, and like, yeah. But it's Venus in retrograde. Like, if people are making mistakes now, and we're actually a month before it literally goes retrograde, can you imagine the kind of mistakes that we're all going to make in these areas of love, self-love, valuing yourself, beautifying yourself? So be very careful with all that kind of stuff. Can you imagine the kind of mistakes that can be made when we're in it? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I said, like, the big ones that spring to mind, because Venus is the biggest thing about it, is love. And by the way, this feels appropriate to mention that once an astrologer said to me, when they looked at my chart, they were like, you're like the embodiment of Aphrodite, like in female human form, which is basically like saying you are the divine feminine. But that's true. It's like that is what I'm here to be, is to bring in that Venusian kind of, whether it's kind of like the Mary Magdalene or Mother Mary kind of gentle like energy of it, or whether it's the kind of more sassy, wild feminine energy. It's all, because that would be more the Venus sort of energy, and especially because that's why it was said to me like that, because my Venus is in Aries. It is a little bit spicy, isn't it, Lexi? Or a little, actually, spicy is what I usually use for Scorpio. It's sassy. It's like, yeah, it's hot. It's Venus in Aries is hot. Or playful, you know what I mean? And so you can embody a bit of that. You can borrow our Venus sign, everyone, if you've not got if you've not got it. But you can see how, I think they're making me say that because when Venus, because what I was going to say is, like, when Venus goes retrograde, like from the 1st of March, but like I said, you got to look out now. It's not a good time to be, it's not a good time for proposals and weddings. And again, like I said, it makes me a bit nervous for people that have already got like weddings planned and stuff. And it's like, it just depends. Like, I would need to know the details, if you were interested, I don't know, or you wanted to know for other people, it's shaky ground. And I gave the example of Molly May and Tommy, that they got married literally the day Venus went into retrograde. Sorry, not married, because they weren't married yet, were they? They were engaged. Is that right? Yeah, they got engaged the day it went into retrograde. And although I thought they were a really lovely couple, and I think they're back together now anyway, or they're going to end up getting back together. But it's the point is I was spot on about that, because I just felt it in my soul. I felt it, just like I can always feel it in public, whether it's like Twin Flames or or like celebrities and stuff, I can always feel when like someone's made a decision that looks final, like even like marrying someone or something, and then it's like that's going to end in divorce, because you just know, like I can just feel it, even when it's not twin flames. I'm like, that's not who that person's meant to be with, like not for the long run. And I've never, I'm sorry, I'm not never normally wrong with that because God telling me. But um, yeah. And then anyway, the point is that when it went direct, that is when unfortunately she found out that he'd been cheating on her with like not just one but several, and that there was all different. There was loads of different rumors, and she doesn't even on that documentary that I spoke about, the other week there. She kind of like brushed past a lot of it, but it was interesting because it was giving insights into that it was. Well, actually, it was very those documentaries were kind of similar because we both the Colleen Rooney one, hers was kind of vague too, because I just think she's really private, but it was just kind of with both guys. It seems they've got a real. So this is going to be relevant whenever I start going into this stuff. Both guys seem to have a well, a wandering eye, but it's like to put that aside, that's Venus and Aries too, though. You see, it's like not always, though. I have to stress to stick up for the like Lexi's a very loyal Venus and Aries, and I'm an extremely loyal Venus and Aries, and I'm single. I don't even fucking need to be. So we're good examples of that's not always the case. But I'm very sassy. Lexi's very sassy, and we're very playful and fun. You know what I mean? But we won't be everybody's cup of tea. And you wouldn't fucking want to be. I certainly wouldn't want to be. Like I say, it's my fucking tagline. I'd rather be somebody's cup of. Oh my god, I forgot my own tagline, and it's not mine. I don't know where that originates from, but I said it wrong. I need to say that at the start of every. I need to be one of those YouTubers. I need to say it in every one, but then it feels too robotic. Yeah, I'd rather be somebody's shot of whiskey than everyone's cup of tea. That's me in a nutshell. Like I'm not here to be liked by everyone. I equally don't want to be disliked by everyone, but I'm here to deliver a message of truth. I'm here to deliver revelations, and they're not always pretty, guys. The wrath of God is not always pretty. Um, so anyway, stay if you're open for that. But but right, let's read this because I interrupted it. Let me see. Speaking of mistakes, I accidentally left a pot of water on the stove to make rice and never turned on the burner to boil the water. Oh no. At least it doesn't take too long. You know what's kind of weird, right? This might be taking the synchronicity too far. But I had rice tonight. And I'm not rice is shite. It's boring. Like, do you really like rice? I just think it's boring. It's boring as fuck. You've got to have something exciting with it. But that's weird, isn't it? I'm finding that kind of weird that we both had. Well, actually, you haven't had it yet, have you? Or have you? um, right. Okay. My mum makes a really good, like, her rice is different because I'm not saying that because she doesn't watch here, but it's like, um, she barely knows how to work YouTube, to be honest. But it's kind of um, like, yeah. She makes like an egg fried rice and like that. Oh, it's amazing. Like when I was growing up, like sometimes like when well, not a hangover, we'd be drunk coming in from a night out, and if my mum had like the leftover Chinese food or that she'd made earlier like the same night, my friends would be like digging into the pot of that. Like yeah, my mum's a really good cook. I'm a good cook too, actually. I inherited that from her, but and my dad's quite good too. We're all quite good. My sister, yeah, we're all quite good at cooking. Yeah. Doesn't mean I always want to, because you saw when I order a takeaway, but most of the time I don't do that. No judgments if you do, guys, because sometimes we just need to do that. Um, I'm not doing that tonight. There's no way. I'm like I've got loads of stuff. Right, I don't think I am anyway. I think it might be sometimes when this happens when it's no, that'd be too late. But no, I'm not that hungry kind of thing. Right, so I'm going to read this because it felt important, but all of this matters. All this shit that's coming through. Sometimes this was shocking and uncomfortable and difficult to accept. Now, I'm going to need to read the whole thing because even I've forgot what that is about. You're growing in power and awareness. You have had a breakthrough, insights where you realize that you're not who you thought you were. You're, in fact, a much vaster being. Sometimes this was shocking and uncomfortable and difficult to accept. Totally the astrology, just had to interrupt. At other times, it was gentle and made much sense to you. You're learning to integrate this awareness of your vast self into your life. The practical consequences of doing so are extraordinary. To live with less and less fear and insecurity, to become more detached, Aquarius season, detached, and more passionate, Venus and Aries, love it, more loving and less demanding, to need less and receive more, to feel more joy and exert less force to attain it. Divine feminine vibes. And again, divine feminine for the men too, by the way, and for the masculine, whether you're male or female, because it's just letting go of the desperate need to have something. Because even the masculine goes through that. Because once the masculines that are in distorted energy, or like depending on how distorted they go with that, dancing very close to like, is this guy a karmic? Is this girl a karmic? And I don't like saying karmic, but I feel some of you must be thinking that for me to be saying it. It's kind of like, you know, when they awaken or you awaken to that, like it's that kind of feeling of like, then you need to heal that kind of feeling in you, insecurities, codependency, you know, the need to have like people around you if you don't like being alone, all this kind of stuff. That's the true twin flame journey. Like I said before, I clipped one of the things I said in one of the other ones. If you're not a twin flame that's either already healed the codependency or like the majority of it, like I've said before, I think it's sometimes hard to free yourself of that completely, I would argue, with some people I've met and even in my own life. It's but to get to a healthier place with that, there's definitely times, you know, that you know it's yeah, absolutely, but it's more kind of like then the masculine will like feel this need to heal that within them and just feel better about themselves, which is a lot of the time like why they don't come forward. Again, unless you're masculine or you're in the bit where you're just like, well, I don't know, that's your business, like going off wherever, you know, like doing anything to get away from the feeling of this intense connection. Right, where did we get to here? Yes, the need to need less and receive more, to feel more joy and exert less force to attain it. Such wonderful gifts await you. Basically, when you stop being desperate to get something and you just accept things the way they are, that's usually when things come to you. Either exactly what you want, or something better, or something near enough like what you want. It really depends what we're talking about. You become capable of exerting healing influence beyond time and space, which means being able to help free yourself and others if you choose to share your healing gifts, which is what you see me do every day. And by the way, I do it, don't, like I say to everyone all the time, New Earth frequency is about being your fucking self. I don't always say it like that, but I'm saying it like that tonight. It is about being yourself, right? And all that kind of horrible copying and competition energy. The competition energy has mostly died with the Pluto and Capricorn, and Pluto and Aquarius is about community, collaboration, if you want to do that. Because to be honest, there's a few communities that I like to be in, either, you know, lurking or maybe engaging to. And, you know, obviously I love this one because it isn't just my one, it's our one, and we protect it around here. And but I'm not really one for collaboration, if I'm honest. It's like I honor that lone wolf energy in me, and it's just it's a few things. It's to do with my astrology really, and it's I've got so many hidden. I don't like saying enemies, but I've got so many hidden sort of enemy kind of energy that it's not really what I'd be very discerning about anything like that. So right, so but I mean, but again, like I said, just because that's my experience, don't make that yours. Because the other thing I was going to say there was I was on a roll, it was coming in and then it went away. Yeah, I show up every day because my Aries sun sign is in the house. I'm teaching a bit of astrology here, like what's new, but my Aries sun sign is in the house of Virgo. Virgo is about what you do every day. And it's anybody that knows astrology would know this, that it basically screams it in my chart, along with my Venus and Aries in the fifth house. Like I it's wise for me to be doing something really interactive and fun and playful every single day, which is like again, it is a tall task, and it's I was going to say it's annoying. It's not really, because it's like it's my soul's frequency. Like I must have chose it that way. But I'm just stressing that not only is that's generally not the advice for YouTubers. Like it's, one a week of good quality is more than enough. You could really sort of do it damage by doing more for a lot of people. But in my case, it's not that way. Like it is in my chart. Like I've said this before that, somebody else has said to me once that you know, like their perspective on when they looked at my chart was like, you would get quite bored like doing a video recording it yourself, like it's live where I'd imagine you come alive. And I was like, well, yeah, that is true, because that person didn't know me. I was like, but actually I do equally enjoy like record, like the one I done last night. I like it because if you watch it, it was fucking weird. Like it felt really weird when I was doing it, and again, I've been doing this for 10 years, so it's not like I'm new to this or anything, you know what I mean? But it's just, and it is Aquarius season, so it can feel it. But it was just when I did watch it back, and I didn't get around to watching it back till like quite late tonight. It was just like fucking really clever, like the way that my guides put that together. Like it was clever because it was the story about and then this is a random example, but how weird is this? And sorry if you're watching, Mr. Scott, I have to say your name because of this story, but there's an email that was in my spam, and it's because I kept getting an email from somebody called Scott that kept asking to like help with my channel, but it was totally a spammer, right? It was totally like a spam thing because I get things all the time from like these total random names of like, I was looking at your channel and I was assessing it and I worked out, and it's like, and it's spam people, right? But then they led me to one, and it's so funny because the person was called Scott, and I'm like, that actually might be genuine. So basically, it was a man called Scott that's in a part of America, and it was basically, well, I'm sorry, Scott, if I'm reading it wrong, but it looks very much like you're chatting me up. You live a bit far away, and I'm assuming you don't really. I'm assuming you're ignoring what I talk about every day, or or you're just trying your luck. But anyway, barking up the wrong tree. But I'm flattered. But to be fair, all jokes aside, I think it was more that it's a spammer. But it was just quite funny because I thought, how weird is that when I've just done a channeling about Scott from Love Island? And then I find like an email that's went AWOL, like somebody chatting me up. It's a bit far away. But anyway, if you're a real person, sorry, and don't be offended. It's but again, I'm pretty sure it is a spit. But it was just thinking, I thought I can't not share that synchronicity because that's hilarious. And it's not the first time. I have had emails like that before, and it's always it's always guys that are like in America, and I'm like, what are they fucking think is going to happen here? A Zoom relationship, like. I'm sorry, it's bad enough the telepathic one that I seem to have just devoted myself to without really knowing the outcome of that. Actually, I might add, or if there is going to be like when, if it's not if it's when, but it's kind of like what I mean. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wanting a Zoom relationship, thanks. Um, a nice actual physical real one, a real person that you can like, oh there you are. Wow, you've got a real arm and a hand. Oh my god, I can actually kiss you. You're real. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of it. You can tell Venus has went in Aries, you know what I mean? Passionate. Yeah. Anyway, you become capable of exerting. Oh, I read that bit. You can learn to create freedom from trauma, attachment, history, and any other situation that may drain your life force and distract from divine love. Everything this channel's about. If you want to be free from trauma and attachment and codependency in your past, hang around. Or if you really want to be free from that, book a session. Like, just saying. Um, no matter whether occurring in this or any other lifetime, because that is, Lexi, is that or is that not nearly exactly like the thing I've channeled for years? It is, isn't it? And that's what I mean by Isis is one of my strongest frequencies, like that goddess healing. Because again, I just heal just by my frequency, and that is very Isis like. So, yeah, Isis guides you to the powers and abilities to heal that are beyond time and space. It starts with the realization that what has happened in the past has power over you only to the extent that you allow it. The portal of light has been opened to you now to travel through time and space to release the past back to the future. I think this is a really clever way of my guides to remind people about my session. And again, I didn't do this. It amazes me. it's about my session called Back to the Future, because I've got my Back to the Future pajamas on. I caught Back to the Future last night, and this is talking about things that are very similar, because that price will go up. I don't know when, because like I'm still waiting on somebody to get in touch about, you can get that at the cheap. If you read it, it says like you could, some people can get that at that cheaper price if you're willing to do what Lexi let me do. And if you want to see what Lexi and me done, go and watch. I'll put it in the description box below. But I interviewed, actually, I didn't interview Lexi. I actually do want to do that, little Lexi. We need to arrange that if you're up for it. I wanted to do like a follow up on what you got from it. Do you know what I mean? But like um yeah, me and Lexi done like I done a past life regression. Well, I done a future life regression, and then we done a past life regression. But the past life regression was more part of her private stuff that we do. But the future regression was fascinating because of the information that came through. So that's what I would like to be recording a wee clip of that with somebody if they're willing. And then you get that session at that discounted rate. So you can email and let me know. And if you don't want that, just book it at the price it's at. But I want to do more of them, damn it. Right, okay, so to open up a future bright and to call for more power in the present moment. Once you've done this for yourself, if you're guided into the healing path, then you can share this with others. Be guided by the love and blessing of Isis to assist you in the sacred interdimensional travel now for healing and understanding, more growth and peace. And you see, that's what I do. I've been helping people for the best part of 10 years on the twin flame journey to heal themselves, empower themselves. And then a lot of those people then go on to heal other people. So a lot of the people that I've helped, like, 8, 9, 10 years ago, they are actually teachers and guides themselves, because these are a lot of the people I attract. So that's good for some of you to know that you feel that is your path in the future, or, or if that's present. But also it's good for those of you that are like that have been other teachers and guides for a long time, and you're maybe like, oh, who is there for me that I can trust? And I'm not one to say, oh, you can trust me, because if you've just come across me, you don't fucking know me. Do you know what I mean? As if you're gonna, you need to develop trust. So, and again, I think, although I'm talking about work stuff right now, I bet you that's going to fall into like with the twin flame journey too. Like, if you have had your trust broken by your either actual twin flame, which is likely for everybody's twin flame journey, maybe not some people's, but definitely everybody that I've experienced, and definitely with me too. But it's like, you need to build that trust again. You need to earn it in a way. You know what I mean? But like, not in a kind of shady way. It's just kind of like, it's wise to kind of be discerning of someone until you're like, yeah, no, I can trust this person. And it's a weird one when it is the other half of your soul, isn't it? Like, that's kind of weird. But if you've healed enough of that, you should be able to have a good enough feeling. Right. So, truths unveiled, the revelation of Isis. And like I said, the word revelation is just like coming out so much. Like, it came out in the shorts for today as well. I'm pretty sure it was the one for today, but they're all timeless anyway. Truths unveiled, 204. This has got nothing to do with it, although it probably is going to have something to do with it. I've burnt the roof of my mouth. And I don't know what with. It's like, I feel it's like with something I've eaten yet. Like, it might be like toast or something, but it's really annoying. Sometimes someone else might have done that. It's like, because I was like, oh, am I getting an ulcer or something? But it's like I've like nicked maybe because my nails are so long, something like, maybe I've like, it's annoying. Anyway, thinking out loud, guys. The revelation of Isis. There are times when that's weird, because I'm sure that was that not the song that was on that wee shorts that I shared? And again, I've said this before, but I don't even like that song. Right, wait a minute. Sorry, what did you read here? So, I'm not everyone's cup of tea because I'm so, yeah, that was near enough it. Yeah, I don't, but I'm good with chicken. Soy sauce, egg, onion, rice with chicken, thigh, or steak. But yeah, that's kind of like what my mum does. Day old rice is better. Yeah, totally agree. It is. That's 100% the same message earlier. I know, it's crazy. It was a fun experience. Yes, no, it was. I'm going to go finish making dinner and go to eat. Well, enjoy that dinner. Weird that we had nearly this near enough the same thing. Right. There are times when appearances of people, places, and things are truly deceptive. Oh my God, look at all the things I've said here. That's weird. You will sense this. It's not weird, it's going to mean something. You will sense this when something feels uncomfortable within you, when you notice feelings of anxiety or doubt within you. You may think there's something wrong with you, but actually you're intuitively sensing that all is not as it appears to be. It is wise to trust your inner feeling rather than being convinced by outward appearance, which, unlucky for a lot of people that try to pull the wool over my eyes, I always trust what I feel because I've got Pluto, 0 degree. I'm saying it like people will be like repeating what I'm saying that watch me all the time in the 12th house. You ain't fooling me, bitch. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why I added a bitch on there. Bitch, or you insert what you want Ed on, but you insert what you want to. But yeah, I'm a bullshit detector. There is a situation in your life, especially involving relationships, where something is not as it is being made out to be. To avoid undue suffering later on, Isis guides you to truth and revelation. Now, again, I just can't. For every time I read these cards, right, people that have been in my memberships over the years will know what I mean because these are where I mostly use these cards. Every time I read one of these, I'm like, it's so crystal clear that that is exactly what I do both in public and in private. That is what I do. It's literally what I just said. I give people really difficult truths, but it's what you need. It's what you need to hear to heal and to be empowered. Sometimes we do need to hear how people are fucking us over. And that appears to be what's coming through. But again, it doesn't surprise me because Juno is conjunct my Mars, and Mars and Scorpio doesn't fuck about. You don't want to piss off a Mars and Scorpio person. And also, by the way, it's absolutely the best sex sign to have. It is. There's no because my argument for that, and it's good because nobody can argue back right now. Well, you could if you were in the chat, but you know, you go ahead if you want. But I'm the reason why I can argue that is because Mars is your sex sign, and Scorpio is the sign of sex. So Mars and Scorpio, again, it's another hot one. Again, like look, guys, there's some placements I'm like, oh, I don't really, you know, I'm not so keen on that placement of mine. But my favorite ones are like I like my Mars. Oh yeah, Mars and oh my God, Mars and Venus, divine feminine, divine masculine. My own divine masculine and feminine got it going on in my chart. So I'm just saying. I was going to say I'm joking. I'm not fucking joking. I do like those. I do like those placements, and I hope you like and love your placements too. But the point is right. Is they're kind of having a bit of banter. If you don't, I bet you if you book my psychic astrology empowerment reading, which is a big session, guys, because it's so long that it's basically a package. But it's just I give people the I give people the option that if you want to sit there for fucking hours that it can take, then I can do that in one sitting. But it's just if you can't handle it, because a lot of not everyone can handle sitting for as long as what I can, we can have it over a couple of sessions, but it is a long session. But by the end of it, you will accept yourself. Like some people have said that it's actually better to invest in that because it saves you getting therapy with me or anyone else. You know what I mean? It's kind of like some people I might add have that experience. Other people, it really just depends. If you've got deeper, complex kind of trauma going on, then I would advise you do that therapy with me. But because everyone that's ever done that with me has like sang my praises about doing that with me. And again, I'm so proud. I've not never really counted, but I've not done that with a whole load of people. So I just don't think people are ready for it because it's not just therapy I'm doing. It's like really, it's like counselling and coaching together, and it's like quantum leaping you to your highest timeline. So I think actually I feel they're making me say that because I was getting the downloads about that today. That and this is what I'm noticing is I said this before, but with this astrology, because it's about valuing yourself, and definitely by the time this is over mid-May, you could see loads of people like doing that, like putting their prices up, especially if they've been the same price for a long time. And it's with me, like some of mine are already like big money for me to receive, and I know it's big money for some to pay out. But like I always say, like if I was in London or something, or other parts of the world, like so many people have been like that. Like you should be a lot more like for what for what I'm actually doing for people. But I was the one I was getting the download about was my therapy package. It's so basically if you were thinking about getting that longer term work with me, I wouldn't leave it, you know, I wouldn't leave that too long. It wouldn't be like right away, but I'm just trying to think, like I know basically I know by the full moon in Leo, which is the 12th, the sale on the mother healing ones that I'm doing, that's going back to full price because that's been like that since January. Um like all it was all of January basically. And but then I'll probably have another one on that I'll put and I've put I've put the Venus retrograde session that you can look. That's it, the 144 again. But yeah, but with my therapy package, which that people would know if it would be people that have watched me for a long time and that, you know, but what says if you've been sitting on the fence about getting that, then I'm just sort of I'm giving like, let's call it a month warning now, but it might even be that I don't put that up till, you know, a couple of months or even like 6 months. I don't think it'd be 6 months though, because it's definitely not 6 months. I think it is to do with like, it's to do with how long it's been at that. It's just, it's not, yeah, I don't break it down by the session, but it's like, it's not, it doesn't feel right to me. I mean, I just go by my guides, uh, my guides things when anyway, so where did I get to this? The revelation of Isis is needed when something or someone is not as it outwardly appears to be. That is so weird because oh my God, I had a synchronicity of this today where it was just, I was watching someone online. Again, it's all anonymous, but and I was just kind of noticing like that. That's what I see in people. Like I see people's shadow. And it's kind of like, yeah, it's just so obvious for me to recognize when there's still a bit of work there to do, you know what I mean? No matter how sacred it may seem, a spiritual person, a family relationship, a shared history, there are times when, although it is more painful to admit the truth in the short term, in the long term, it will save you much suffering and feelings of being duped, misled, and manipulated, used, or abused. And I hope that's not happened to anyone, but I know it has happened to a lot of people. So I'm sorry if that's happened to you. It's happened to me too, guys. So again, like people can manipulate us all the time in all walks of life. It'll also make it more likely that the situation or relationship can grow into a healthier expression if possible. And I must stress, if possible. In situations where you know that the people around you that have manipulated you or misled you are not going to change and they're not seeing anything wrong with the way that they behave towards you or other people, cut them loose. You know what I mean? Put your boundaries up and cut them loose. You don't deserve to be on the receiving end of that. You cannot heal what is not revealed. And that's always, I like to say that, like, you know, you got to feel it to heal it. You got to, you know, reveal it to heal it. Isis is with you now to help you release the truths, to admit that you probably already sensed it anyway, and to make wise use of these revelations now. Like it's kind of like, right, even on the twin flame journey, like, you know, I don't think I'm not going to say never, but there's not a whole load of times where you hear something and it's a complete blindside or a shock. Most of the time you felt it on some level because you're so telepathic with it. That's only with twin flames, but I can think of things where that would apply with twin flames that I've worked with, and even on my own journey. But it's like I can also think of where that applies with people that are karmic energies to me. But it's like, you know, it felt like blindsiding at the time, but I'm like, yeah, I actually felt on some level that person was capable of doing that to me. Like I felt like they were going to fuck me over. You know, and it's horrible to say that, but it's, you know, if you really sort of think deeply, maybe some of you are like, no, I totally didn't see that coming. But again, it might just be because that's like that's my superpower. But again, I'm just pointing out that although it's my superpower, I have had people, you know, trick me to a certain point, and then I'm like, but that's what I'm saying. I did always feel on some level, but you know, it's like I always say, it needs to happen to the teachers that help with this too, because otherwise life would be boring if you just, you know what I mean? It needs to cause some kind of, I don't know, drama or something. But the Oracle of Truth Unveiled speaks of a time soon to come when you will realize true perception, crystal clear clarity. What you thought was trustworthy, legitimate, or reliable may turn to sand and crumbling before your eyes. This may be a friendship, a job, an offer of some kind, or even the behavior of a loved one, causing you to question the real commitment or respect in a family or romantic relationship. Again, I'd say with some of the stuff that came through on that one last night, especially the two references I made about the films, um, that could be a thing right now. Like people that have made serious commitments could be realizing this person was wearing a mask the whole time or something, Or I don't know, it's part of spiritual weight, and you wake up and you're like, I'm not on the same page as this person because I've fully integrated my higher self. I don't think you would say it like that, but however you look at it. What is important here is to realize that when you see the truth, you can act appropriately. You will not proceed with inappropriate expectations, and you can reassess your boundaries and priorities to get the most out of the situation and not suffer undue disappointment later on. Again, it's about not going back to sleep. It reminds me whenever the laptop says plug it in or your Mac will go back to sleep. It's always my sign of like, somebody seeing something and then wishing they hadn't and try and go back to sleep. It's not very easy. It's not very easy to do. And if you do go back into a bit of denial, you're going to use like escapism tactics and that, and it's going to catch up with you. And in some cases, you can ruin your fucking life. So it's not really that worth it. So Isis was betrayed by her brother Set, who, out of his jealousy, murdered her beloved Osiris. Now, remember, Isis and Osiris are about twin flames, so like one of the biggest sort of twin flame couples. So that's why Mary Magdalene and Jesus, Isis and Osiris, and Saint Germain and Lady Portia are the ones that I feel the most closest to. But now Isis was able to demonstrate great spiritual strength and healing power to resurrect her beloved Osiris, and all was not lost. She also learned a painful and valuable lesson that it's wise to take our intuitive feelings seriously and to recognize a snake in the grass when there is one. Sorry, but what the actual fuck when we've just literally moved into the year of the snake days ago? And that's what I've said. Like, the year of the snake is about transformation and rebirth. But it's also, I feel, quite literally about recognizing the snakes in the grass. So can you recognize? And I think that's why I put that as the title. Are you valuing yourself yet? Can you recognize a snake in the grass when it's staring you in the face? When you're living in the same house? When it's in your family? When it's in your tight knit? I've got you, bro. Or I've got you, sis, soul family, even. I've had it happen to me, guys. You'd be surprised how many times. And again, I'd just like to say that's when I say it like that, well, it's just quite frankly because it is fucking true for quite a few people, but it's not everyone. So, and I don't know who tunes it. And like I said, there's some people that would like, I mean, I've actually heard people, there's some people that will claim they're not still tuning in, and I get the visions and the revelations that they are. And or other like it'd be the equivalent of like when you were on Facebook or Instagram, you could always see who was lurking on your page because it would come up in the suggested friends like that. It's like that's what I get it's quite funny. I get my visions like that of the monitoring spirits. But there are a lot of people, and I got a really beautiful confirmation of that. Whereas I'm keeping anonymous, but somebody that hadn't they hadn't chatted on here in like a year, and I hadn't heard from them from email. I hadn't had a Zoom obviously in that time either. And somebody, I just found a lovely email of somebody just sort of update me where they were at. And I'd just like to say, that was a really lovely, so that was a nice, there you go, that's the shock surprise element in astrology. That was a nice surprise because I genuinely mean it when sometimes that's the not so nice part of this job is people are going through their own stuff, and they like either it's happiness wise, like, oh yeah, I'm running off with my twin flame and that's great, or oh yeah, I've just done all this therapy and I'm feeling great, and then they go, but it's kind of weird when you're like, I'll sometimes have moments where I'm like, I wonder if that person's still doing all right, or I wonder if they're still with their twin flame, or I wonder if that person's got good feeling towards me, or if there's got bad feeling towards me, or I wonder, and then you start thinking like anyone else, you're like, I wonder if I've done anything to upset, and then you could fucking drive yourself crazy, and it's just kind of just fucking let it go again. But I'm just sort of giving a bit of a perspective into it. It's like, if you think I'm not going to want to hear from you, like, and again, I've said this before, this is where it gets complicated. I was about to say you'd be wrong because I do like to get an update from people. It's just there would be probably some others where I think it's quite obvious. So if something was left on a sour note and it was made quite clear, I hope you're happy, but I think this is the end of the road for us, then maybe read between the lines there. But if nothing like that happened and you just sort of slinked off because like your own stuff and that, then don't like be afraid to sort of drop me an email to be like, I just thought I'd let you know how I was doing, and that, you know what I mean, and like, whatever. I just feel we need to say that because I don't know whether that person emailed me because they still tune in quietly, and then that was the invite to do it, or whether, because that person's very psychic, or whether they just done it anyway and they're not watching the videos. But either way, I'm just saying it was nice. So again, that person will know who. I'm sure that person will know, but again, maybe they won't, because they might be like, oh, maybe it was someone else. So I'm just sort of saying it was nice, because I do understand that a lot of people are in hermit mode and going through their own stuff and everything. And right, okay, so let's read the rest of the story though, because this is probably one of the most, if not the most important one in this book, because it talks about the story, and a lot of people won't know the story. But yeah, just to read that again. She also learned a painful and valuable lesson that it's wise to take our intuitive feelings seriously and to recognize a snake in the grass when there is one. And again, if you're not too good at recognizing the snakes in the grass, and you've got a pattern of behavior of getting fucked over and betrayed, first of all, let me look at your chart and let me see why that is. A lot of people I've noticed, specifically with either Pluto in the 12th house, like I've got, or Pluto in the 11th, because that's friendship. But really, I could probably go through all the houses. I could probably tell you why that is and help you be a bit more savvy. But when pregnant with her divine child Horus, she ran and hid from Set, recognizing that he was destructive and dangerous, honoring what she knew and not pretending that it would all just be fine. And in doing so, her child was able to be born. In the same way, there are creative impulses and new life within you that need to be protected until they're strong enough to withstand negativity and undermining by another out of jealousy or fear. And that feels very specifically those of you that are the masculine energy, that are around like jealous friends, co-workers, family in some cases. It's so important that, like, if you're doing something, like, before you meet, before you go to meet your twin flame or reunite with them or even union, it's so important that you actually keep that to yourself, because of this, like, if you're actually bettering yourself and getting out of karmic habits and addictions and all of that, other people are not going to like it, because you're reminding them of where they're staying stuck. So again, it feels like point obvious, but someone needs to hear that. Even a close friend whom you love and who loves you may struggle with your creative side, perhaps because they are yet to tap into their own creativity. Yes, I was ahead of the book. Yeah. It is the best to be honest with yourself and know that sometimes, out of a sense of kindness, the fragile creative beginnings of a project or new habit or interest need to be protected. It's like, this is really shadowy, right? This is what I mean about the Aries of Venus sash. But I've had the trippiest experiences sometimes, where sometimes I've had help from someone, and then, because I'm surrounded by so many other psychic people, like, I remember then once talking to one of my friends that was psychic, and she actually described a situation that was exactly what my sense of what it was. But basically, it was something I'm quite used to, and it was just really all about how someone was threatened by me. And it was it was so sad though, because it was like somebody that, like, you know what I mean? It's like I wouldn't want them to be, and it's just, and this is the thing, it's like you just can't fucking help it. Like, you can't win. Like, so it's like you've either got to dim your light and fit in and not stick out like a sore thumb for doing something you're good at, I might add. Or you fucking own it. And that's why I say all the time, everybody's good at something. You've just got to find what it is you're good at, and shine bright as fuck. And you're going to get haters. I hate the word hate, but it's true. You're going to get haters, and some of them are going to be really close to home, and it could really hurt. But don't cower down back into a corner because they don't like it. Because actually, if you keep going, you can inspire the same people, but you'll probably need to come. The sad thing is, you'll probably need to either set strong boundaries or come away from these people until they face their own shit and do what they love, if they ever do at all. And that's why a lot of people have to cut the cords, because you're growing and expanding and they're staying small. That's not your problem. Again, it might sound harsh, but like I said, Venus is raw and real, and it's coming through very raw and real. Right, so, and good for you if you are untangling yourself from codependency and choosing to better your life. And because it's a lot of people just take the easy way out and they'll escape, and it does take courage. And again, courage, bravery is also Aries. Um Like Isis, you must protect that which needs it by recognizing where something or someone could harm rather than nourish new life. And that's why, again, that's why as well I always suggest to people, again, you can do what you want, but and you'll see whenever anybody actually does celebrate being with a twin flame, I'm very like, because I know everyone quite well, I'm like, look, maybe keep that shit private for at least a few months before you share it, because just because of the jealous monitoring spirits that I attract that are my own, or you just don't know who could follow you here too. But again, the space is protected, but you know what I mean? It's like, just don't and the thing is, a lot of divine feminines might not say that, because a lot of divine feminines I've noticed can have a bit of a bee in their bonnet about being hidden, because there's such a twin flame. I'm not like that. Like, I've got a lot of hidden energy, and I'm just kind of like, look, should the fucking miracle ever occur in my life where my one even bloody talks to me again, I'm not telling a fucking soul. And I can't tell anyone else what to do, but I'd advise the same fucking thing, because it's just, people, yeah, people are nosy fucks, and yeah, and that's about that. You're being guided with this oracle to trust your judgment about someone's motivations or intentions. If you feel something is not quite right, then give your discernment a chance to more fully form so that you can see the truth. I'm just laughing. I'm like fucking shouting. And that might be too loud with the microphone, but also my neighbours will be like, what in the hell is she doing through there? Changing the world, that's what we're doing. Be the change you wish to see in the world. That is one of my favourite sayings, but that's hilarious. That is very Venus and Aries. That's hilarious. The more emotionally detached you allow yourself to be, the clearer your assessment of a person's situation or offer is likely to be. If you've been thinking that you already see the truth in a situation, this oracle is confirmation of the accuracy of that perception. And that further confirmation that you're seeing something accurately will soon be given if requested. So be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Like, I bet you somebody's actually asked something and I've given like a general answer. Ask for revelation and be patient. Yeah, somebody must ask for this for me to give in this message. Clear perception is imminent and will help you make wise choices. Yes, imminent, as it may have just happened with what I delivered. Your reunion is imminent. That's what it reminds me. It might be, by the way, but that just reminded me of that card. Your reunion might be imminent. Where is that? I don't know where that card deck is. Let's shuffle this one with me saying that. There's probably ones, right? Why did? Nah, not why did. What will I ask? What needs to come out of this deck? Because I don't think I'm going to be. I don't think I'm going to be hanging around much longer, because there's nobody chatting, and like I said, it gets a bit boring, especially in Venus and Aries. I'm going to feel it more. My throat seems to be doing something weird here. Oh, wait a minute. They're pulling my eyes to. I'll stay for a bit longer and then. True love. A deep and enduring connection going beyond superficial attraction. In other words, you may find that person hot, but you also find their soul hot. You love their soul as well as how they look. It's just a bonus if the person is good to look at, isn't it? And again, you might have heard me say this before, but like, if you think I'm all like, oh, spiritual and looks don't matter, and no, I've said before, they do. I really fancy my twin flame, like badly. Like, I go on about it all the time. I've tried to stop, but it just comes out my mouth. And it's just because in general, like, you've seen when I say, like, that other deck I used with the hot man, because he is, it's got a hot man on the cards. And I've just been saying I like Michael J. Fox when I was younger. I liked Patrick Swayze, John Travolta, all the token, good lookers, Just saying, that's a bit Venus and Aries too. I wasn't really one to kiss somebody I didn't fancy. I have done it in my life, and I've felt like sick to the pit of my stomach. I remember doing that once on a night out, because my pal was like, I was like wing woman him, but I was like, there was no need to do that. I was very young, and it was like, but yeah, it's kind of cringe when you think back, because there wasn't too many times I was ever that person. And I feel sad for people that are that person. And I know that will more than likely be a lot of men and women watching. But again, look how that's got to do with valuing yourself. And I had a conversation like that in my session earlier. where I was just basically, this is what I mean. Half of my therapy is very much my own style because it was my own story. And the funny thing is, it came through in that activation, and I was like, oh, that reminds me of a story. I'll tell you that another day. And as soon as we came out the thing, she was like, no, tell me now. I need to know the story. And so I told her, and I'm not. There's no fucking. It's one of those stories I wouldn't be telling on here. But in general, it was just about where I'd been a bit hoodwinked and a bit naive, manipulated. Um, and it was just like, afterwards, I was like, what the fuck, man? If one of my pals told me that story, I'd be like, yeah, that's obvious. But so I'm just sort of sharing that it's like, it does happen to the best of us. And it's, yeah, so I don't know, there's something about a snake in the grass here. Oh, it's that one again. Oh my, wow, holy fuck. Right. I'm telling you, there's got to be some exciting reunions and unions happening here. I'd say, I think again around it really can happen whenever. And again, these are timeless. But if some of these are real time, full moon and Leo is like kind of celebration sort of energy, fun, playful. But again, let go. But look, this one came out last night. Embrace. It's like what I just said. I just said your reunion is imminent because that imminent word just always makes me think that. Embrace the sweet anticipation of love's arrival in your life. It's coming. I might hold that up to that's definitely. Come on, hurry up, Dilly. Wait a minute, I need to smile, don't I? Oh, that face is creepy. Well, you can't read it, for fuck's sake. My hair looks too flat, too. Oh, I took it away. That's so annoying when oh, shit. Fuck's sake. That'll do. The top of the word's gone, but whatever. That's the one I thought was going to come out. Imperfections. Love is a beautiful mess. Embrace its imperfections. Oh God, that's perfect too for this journey. Roller coaster ride. That's what the twin flame journey is. Oh my, right. What the fuck, right? Oh, I'm not saying anything. I've done it all week. I'm getting sick of me doing this. Other people, I know, I'm sorry, but what the hell? Celebrate good times. Come on. But that's who's right. I'm sorry, but people better email. If this is like happening, you better let me know. Celebrate. Today, celebrate the love you share with those who matter most. But forget the boring message. Look at what I just said, and then that came out. So there's for at least someone watching this or a wave of people, you're going to be celebrating at least reconnecting or contact or I don't know, it could be some kind of good news in another area, but I'm feeling it's love stuff. And this is what I meant by it feels like I'm more going on about the bad stuff, about Venus retrograde in Aries, because there is a lot of it. Like again, that could be major hothead energy, from karmic energies especially, but it could even be like heated, arguments with anyone, twin flames, right? So watch with that, not to lose your cool kind of thing. And again, I'd just like to stress, I've got Venus in Aries, but I'm not one to get like that. I've said this before that like if I lose my cool, it's like people have to push me to like they really have to push me very far for me to get angry. It's not like I don't get angry. I get angry and triggered like anyone else, but it's really to do with my other sort of placements and just my reasoning skills. Like I've had I think it's not I don't think it's to do with my job as well. Like but even before I trained in a lot of this stuff, it's like it is in my nature. It's like because I deal with people's shadows day in, day out, and people act like well, let's be honest, if somebody's in the major unhealed, people can act like a right C word. I don't like actually saying the C word. Actually, it's really funny. I was watching somebody last week and they actually said the C word and I was pissing myself. Remember, I done it once on here, and I was like, oh my god, it just like rolled off my tongue. I was like, um, but yeah. Anyway, I've just distracted myself with saying that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, so it's just it's part of being a counselor, a therapist, is the transference. Like people can project or project can project their own stuff on you, and it's nothing to do with you. It can feel like it's you, but it's nothing to do with you. So I'm glad in that skill. But it's not easy. I don't expect other people to do that. If you've not got therapy counseling training, like you know, not any, most people can't do that basically. So toxicity, toxic relation, a minute, toxic relationships. Sorry, there was a bit of rowdiness out there and it was getting a bit annoying. But isn't that weird that as there was a bit of rowdiness, I pulled toxicity? Toxic relationships can drain your energy and self worth. Be aware. That's a snake in the grass. So if you recognize somebody as being like that, pay attention. Romance. Romantic. Oh my God, what is this shit, man? Is that the thumbnail? Romantic surprises are on the horizon. Be open to receive them. So drop into your feminine energy. That'd be a nice thumbnail. God, look at this. Is what I mean. It looks like it's got a fucking black eye. It's like it's brown glittery, right? Because it matches that. And again, I love this top, right? But because the heating is on, because I opened the window, it's fucking freezing. But I thought, well, it matches that, but it's like a little bit too dark. It's like I'm going on a night out. Like I wouldn't usually wear it like I wouldn't do that. Anyway, romantic surprises are on the horizon. Be open to receive them. Apparently. Right, so illusions. Ah, be aware of oh my god, that would be a good thumbnail because it's like which one is it? It's different for different people. So be discerning. Christ, I know the switch. Be discerning what path you're on. Are you sure you're on the right path? Because look what the next card is. You can't make this shit up. I've been talking about whether you call it a path, a route, or a direction, or what a timeline, whatever you want to call it. Are you on the right path, or is it an illusion? That's a good thumbnail for the title. One waves the karmic energy, one waves the twin flame. What one are you on? Because I've helped people where they have been on the wrong one and it was part of their journey. Illusions. Be aware of love's illusions. See reality clearly. I'm getting so sick of hearing the word and seeing the word clarity and clear and like crystal clarity and crystal. But again, it's what I'm here to do for people. But I keep seeing it everywhere and not my own stuff. Like I'm seeing it everywhere. Right path. So I think that's me channeling the masculine, seeing it everywhere. Like when I'm seeing it everywhere, I feel that is the divine masculine seeing it everywhere. Love is a beautiful journey, and you're on the right path. Again, twin flame, karmic energy. And the irony is, you have to go down the karmic energy in love, definitely, but in friendships and in some cases, like I can think of situations where you could have believed like a family member or your family's advice because hey, it's my family, you know what I mean? Like they're always gonna have my back, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, they didn't have my back, or they were like, not looking out for me there, or whatever whatever different dynamics. Love flows to you and you radiate charisma and charm. What's happening here? What? Oh, there we go. Right. Um. Oh God, I've just cut out of that again. Illusions and right path, and now look, it's on the opposite sides. Oh, that's so symbolic. That's like when people are chopping and changing. Is that the right person? Is this the right person? Is that are they the one tricking me? Or are they the one tricking me? And remember the card, well, not remember, if you haven't seen the big tour video from last night, it was, I said I felt energy, like, I can't remember, I said something like a trick or something like that, and then I pulled out, well, that's a bit dangerous because I can feel my oh no, you can't see, what am I talking about? My jammy bottoms are like falling down, if you know what I mean. But yeah, and I pulled out trickery after I said something similar. This might be quite hard for people to talk about because my throat's cracking. And I've not been talking too much. I mean, I did have that session before, but that's the only channeling that I've done today. And because it's like the nature of the session that we're doing, it's not really full on. Forgive and release. You're stronger than you carry love and forgiveness rather than anger. Look what I said about Venus and Aries. Redirect your thoughts. Focus on what you want to attract in this relationship, not on what you fear will happen. Oh, interesting too. Right, okay. Because my voice is cracking again. It's not sore or anything, but I just it's either my sign about somebody's going to find it difficult to talk to you, or you to them, or not always twin flames. It can be talking to karmic energies or setting boundaries with anyone and all that kind of stuff. But it can also just be my sign that they want me to save my energy. So, and like I said, I've not done a whole lot today. I rested loads, but it just must mean they want me to. This is what I keep saying, you know, I know that about this year. I've kept thinking it was last year and the year before, but it's you know, it feels like it is this year this time. But I thought that about last year too. But no, I can feel it is because I've felt it's. I'm kind of talking in code here, but for the best way to describe it is it's because of, oh yeah, that's so fascinating to me. It's because of what I've described earlier. I've been in the new air frequency for years now, in at least exactly 2 years, but it could even be said it's been the last 4 years since the whole pandemic thing. Absolutely, actually, I would say that because I saw right away what was going on and nobody around me did, apart from some select online friends. And then there was a handful of my in-person friends at the time, none of which are my friends now. That's quite funny, actually. I mean, it's not funny, but it's kind of funny if you think about it. But even some of those ones, you know, yeah, they knew something wasn't right. But again, and nobody can blame anybody for it. But they went along with the crowd. And again, that's not throwing shade. It's just people are scared. You know what I mean? I get it. It's like how I can't think of one person that's actually apologized for me for seeing the truth the whole time and trying to save people's lives. Not one fucking person has done it to me. Probably the closest person that's done it is actually I'm not I was like, can I say no, I can think of somebody, but it's somebody very close to me. And even then it was kind of like in a bit of a roundabout way because it's fucking embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? And I get it. But I'll have major respect for anybody that can actually say, do you know what? Thanks for doing that for me and for like basically people I don't fucking know on the internet because I didn't need to. I could have just been like, more fool them. Fucking hell, I can't believe they can't fucking see through that shit. But no, I got on a Facebook Live on my fucking birthday. On my, was it my 36th birthday or my 35th? Guys, I'm so bad at maths, it's not even funny. No, it's my 36th birthday, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I was sitting on a Facebook Live till I was blue in the face saying that that was a load of shit. Like, you can fucking wash your hands and all of that shit and, you know, scrape away the skin on your hands because you're using that sanitizer thing in that much. And you can wear the face nappies, even though that's really just to train you up for taking the thingamajigger because that's coming. You know, I done all of that. I had family members stop texting me happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and then a few that was extended ones, and only a few. I don't forget things like that. I can forgive, but I don't forget. And then you know you wait till the dust settles a bit, and then suddenly, oh, now I'm getting a happy birthday because I'm turning 40. What about when I turned 37, 38, and 39? Where did those years go? Do you know what I'm saying? At least I can laugh if it's no fucking funny. It's a bit bullyish, really. So yeah, just speaking up, you know, just being the voice of reason for some people that were treated like that. Not very nice, is it? Wow. Sorry, not sorry. My Venus in Aries conjuncts Eris, and that's about not being invited to the party. I feel very strongly about bullying. Right. Conflict and peace. Whoa. 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 Thanks for whoever's firing the hut. I'm not being funny, right? But see when I'm watching people doing this, right? When somebody starts doing it, you're like, yeah, I'm going to start hitting the button. And then it can become like a bit of a competition. I'm going to hit the heart. But yeah, when I'm watching somebody, I don't like, I'm not just saying this to talk bullshit. There's not a lot of time when I'm actually, and I think it's because, am I right in thinking you can actually only do it from a, yeah, I don't watch live streams from my laptop. I think it'd be a bit of a weird experience, really. But anyway, but yeah, whenever I can hit the thing, I would do it. And I'm like, but it's just for being somebody that's on the receiving end of it, it is quite encouraging. You know, I remember that from Facebook when you were on a bit of a rant and it was like, yeah, it's really coming through. It was really coming through. And it's like, it's quite encouraging. So I'm just saying, thanks for that. It's kind of weird. You don't, it's kind of weird, Dave. You don't know the fuck it is. It's like, no, thanks whoever you are. Right, 23, 23. Pissing myself. I'm just having so much, honestly. I had so much fun doing that random one last night and I'm fucking having a bad time. So, passion and purpose. Yeah, exactly. I'm just following my passion and my purpose. I know it looks weird, but hey, I've been doing it so long now. It's just becoming even more fun. Right. Fear, anxiety. Yeah, don't be afraid. I'll help you. It's fun. Right. So, apologize and grudge. So there must be something about that. Are you holding a grudge? Or, oh my God, look at what I just said. Look at what I just, look at what I just fucking said. Again, because if you're new around here, it's not me, it's God and the guide speaking through me. Just like whatever they made me do with that Love Island chat last night. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just trying to think. There's got to be something. Oh, yeah, there is. I'm just thinking, is there something, because last night they done the whole thing where they do this thing where they strip, like they basically, it's mortifying, like fuck. I always used to say that, I'm like, Christ, if I ever had a party or something and somebody got me a stripper, I would not find that shit funny. I would be mortified. Like that's one of the worst things somebody could do to me. Like, and thank God I've hardly got any friends now, and the friends I have got, they wouldn't do that. But that's not I wouldn't find that funny. It's funny to watch other people. Like I remember at my sister's head do when she had a stripper. It was quite that was hilarious. But she was loving that shit. She got involved. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you know what I mean? I just mean like appropriately, like, but it's like she enjoyed the banter. But like I'm just like, no, no. I would be like, no, somebody needs to take my place. I can't do this. Well, actually, if you're well, no, I'm only joking. I was going to make a joke, but it's no. I was about to say it depends how good looking he was, but probably it would make it worse if he was really hot. Can you get out of here? Do you know what I mean? It's like I just no, no. But you see, some people would love that. I wouldn't. Anyway, unlikely to happen right now. But apologizing grudge. It might feel easier to hold a grudge towards someone you had a fight with rather than take responsibility for your own part in contributing to the disagreement. You might, I said something like this at the start of the thing too. If you might have an inner battle with wanting to resolve the situation but hesitating to bring up the apology, there's often an internal push and pull, like twin flames. You want to resolve it, but don't want to be the one taking the first step. I can't believe I thought that was weird because I'm like, oh no, I don't like when I go into talking about the pandemic stuff because again, I can't stress enough. I'm so over that shit. Like it does. If I wanted to sit and get angry about it, I could, but not like really, really angry. It's like because I know I'm here to be a place of peace, and I wouldn't shame anybody or anything like that. But it's kind of like that was just straight facts what I just channeled. Like it really is. Like, you know, people do need to reflect on how they treated people that were just trying to help and tell the truth. Because a lot of us were accused of being crazy and talking shit and all that. And it's like I say all the time, every single apparent conspiracy theory has been proven to be true. I can't think of one yet that hasn't come true. That's a fact too. And it just gets quietly brushed under the carpet. No, no. Apologizing is often seen as something weak, but it isn't really but isn't it really the ultimate strength? Yes, it is. Apologizing and taking responsibility for your actions is hard and therefore a sign of true strength. Yeah, and like that's why I always say, right? There's loads of people in your life, I'm sure, and there's loads of people in my life that, you know, an apology would be nice, but if I was waiting on the millions of apologies that I'm due by loads of different people, I'd be dead by now, because some of them just ain't gonna come. Do you know what I mean? And some of them, quite frankly, I don't want one. You know what I mean? It's like there's some people that you can say sorry from afar, and you know you're already forgiven. A lot of people, like, they fuck me over and I forgive them in the moment. And what's horrible about what I can do is there's some things that like actually haven't happened yet, and I get the visions of they're going to fuck me over even more when they're out of my life, and then they're really going to regret it because they're going to feel the guilt and all that. And it's just, it's horrible being like this, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's but yeah, putting all that aside, you know, you can accept an apology from somebody, but it doesn't mean that you then, you know, it depends what area it is. Like, say it's a family member that you can accept the apology, you still don't need to let them in your life. You don't want them there, and that's a big one because a lot of people, you know, when it's family, it's like, oh, not family, but yeah, family too. Because look at what I just said. I don't often say that again. Let's hope the extended families aren't worked. But actually, maybe they should be. Maybe they're meant to be. Because again, it's not loads of people, but it is true what I said. Um, and also, by the way, I just noticed, right, like I didn't burp, but it was like I internally burped, and because I've got the mic on, it picks it up. So, like before my stomach could rumble that, you didn't hear it, but I noticed it was like, I was like, what's that fucking annoying noise when I was watching the video back from last night, and it was me shuffling the cards. So the mic works basically. Hopefully I'll get used to like talking a bit quieter. Um, but yeah, you know, like you can accept an apology from a friend, but you don't need to be their friend again. Or you can accept an apology from an ex or a past lover or a work colleague, or you know, like, because you know there's things that you know can happen in that area too. But again, it doesn't mean you need to be all palsy mousy best friends with them again. It's just sometimes people reflect on their behavior years later, and especially after a spiritual awakening, and it's just like, you know, it would help them to lift the weight, and in some cases it would help you. So whoever needs to hear that, whether you're the person who's done somebody dirty or whether you're the person that needs to apologize, because a lot of, you know, and in a lot of cases it's usually a bit of it back and forward, but some cases it's not. Sometimes it is just like one person that, like, I can think of some things in my life where it's like um yeah, like blindsiding things where it's like, wow, I didn't deserve that. And it's like I've had further salt rubbed in the wound. And so that's why I say that. Like there's some things that's like you've done too much. Like there's no, and that's not, you know, I'm basically, I have to just, that's not aimed at my twin flame, but he needs to say sorry for shit too. But it's you know, it's just like, I think, you know, I think best maybe leave that one alone. Um so if you can find the strength to push away the feelings of resentment, you can soften and make the relationship blossom again. Be courageous and own your mistake, and you might find that the other person who is feeling the same way, wanting to reach out to you but struggling to admit the fault first. We often think of apologising as giving up or surrendering, and that apologising makes the other person right, but does it really? Saying I'm sorry that I did this or or said that, or not saying what they did is okay. Wait a minute, or said that it's not saying what they did is okay. It only shows that you have good intentions and want to resolve the conflict. So there's been loads of cards like that yesterday and now again. They might still be at fault, even if you were also. A fight or a disagreement between two or more people is rarely only one person's fault. Yeah, I just said that. It's rarely one person's fault, but sometimes it is. This card wants to help soften the grudges, and you might be holding and see your relationships flourish by helping you to find your own inner strength to admit a fault. And so, like, I love the synchronicity of this because I think I said that at the start. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Even if I didn't say it at the start, but I did because I've made it right now. If you've just joined and you haven't watched from the start, there's several mistakes in the title. Oh, sorry, just one. Jupiter is direct in Gemini, not Taurus, right? I couldn't fit Uranus and Taurus because that's old news. That was a few days ago, but it's not old news. It's still very current. It's just all happening together. It's not enough room in the title, damn it. But I was saying it's a synchronicity because in my session I was saying to that person, I was telling that person how I noticed a mistake that I'd made, and it was actually a couple of years ago. And it was just something businessy. It was just something like, it was a wee, oh, it's hard to explain. I don't need to explain it, but it was just something that I was like, oh, right, that's why that happened. And then I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, wait. And then I realized, and it was like, I was starting to actually feel really bad. And I thought, oh, no, wait a minute. And then I saw it from another, and I was like, oh, that's kind of not. So it's hard to explain. And again, like I said, I don't need to go into details, but it was good. And for that moment, I was like, oh, actually, that was my mistake. It was more like a kind of, yeah, it's like a technical kind of thing. And it's, again, it's not a big deal because, but it's just good to do that, you know, that you're not always right. Like, it's very good to reflect on that. It's just, what I like to say is be careful that you're not the person that's wrong all the time. Because what I find with a lot of people I work with, like, you've been the scapegoat in your family, or you've been the black sheep, or you've been the person that everybody's like, oh, it's just such and such, you know what I mean? Like, they're always fucking up. They're always like fucking, you know, doing crazy shit, and like it's or whatever, much worse than that. Like, I'm kind of playing it down because, like I said, a lot of the things I can help some people with in personal sessions are like deeply disturbing and traumatic, and you know, yeah, horrendous. So, you know, it's basically, it's not always your fault. Don't always make everything your fault. Again, like I say all the time, it's one of my favorites. You become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So, do your friends big you up? Do they cheer you on? Do they encourage you when you want to follow creative things, or come off of an addiction, or give up alcohol or drugs, or both, or like, you know, heal your sex addiction, or like, you know, stop overeating? Or that's a big one. Remember when I channeled that film, Brittany Runs a Marathon, and basically she goes from being like really overweight to like losing the weight and getting a boyfriend. And it's like, that's a, honestly, it's actually a really good film. It's like, but it's a brilliant film of like narcissistic friends, because she's living with like a, you basically, you see how jealous they get when she loses the weight and gets a boyfriend and stuff. It's like they try to sabotage it for her, and that's not a best friend. So I hope that that's not going on. But again, I think with the snake in the grass other card, it probably is. Um, that's the hashtag chosen one problem. And again, I don't like homing in on the whole 144,000, although 144 is in the channel name. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like the whole dickhead sort of vibe of, oh, I'm a chosen one. But the thing is, if you are truly on that path, and you know what I mean, it's not the funnest like all the time, because you do get, it's not just that I've got Pluto in the 12th house. You get so much fucking jealousy, it's unreal. But it's because you do have that kind of integrity and that light that, I'm sorry, not your average human being actually has, because we're not fully human, we're angelic. And it's kind of like linked to what I said about the changes in the frequency and the weird things you get, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, again, this is very Aquarius, but it's true what I'm saying. It's like, you know, it reminds me of an Hancock. I always forget the name of that, but like, you know, that's got a bit about where she's like, you know, we're God's angels or something. Again, but I've said before, although that's a good film, it's quite a toxic example of twin flames, and for many reasons, especially being because they don't end up together. But I strongly feel that that was because they were trying to plant the seed that you don't end up with your twin flame, because there's quite a few channels out there that claim that. It's kind of like, you know, the people that claim your twin flame doesn't need to be a romantic sexual connection. It absolutely is. Which, can I just stress, it doesn't mean that, like, you know, oh, it's your twin flame, so you can just, like, you know, carry on behind people's back. No, it doesn't mean that. And what I mean is, it's like it's like what I called sexual telepathy. You've got a very telepathic connection. You're linked. It's your own inner masculine, feminine energy in the other person. But you've got to respect. You've got your life. They've got theirs. And with the true twin flame journey, there is often an element of cloakedness, or not knowing what's going on with the other person's life. Sometimes it's more the other way than, but sometimes it's a bit of both, really. And it's that way for a reason. Like, you'll get isolated and, you know, pulled away from, you know, it's like, I was laughing when I watched that back, and I was like, I said it quite sassy, and the, you know what I mean? But I kind of fucking meant it. It's like, you know, you can watch it back to see what I mean. Because that's what I mean. I was like, when I was doing it, I was like, oh, I'll just leave it on the membership. And I thought, no, you know, it's the truth. You know what I mean? And that's not the full truth either. Um, But we've got to keep some of our stuff back, haven't we? I am strong enough to admit my weakness. So it says, write an apology letter to someone that you've let down. You don't have to give them the letter or message yet, or ever, I want to add in. Just use this practice, and perhaps with time it will feel easier to apologize when you do something wrong. The letter needs to include what you want to apologize for and what you did wrong and ask for forgiveness. And again, that is so important because see if you've been around like not everyone has been around narcissists, but especially if you have been around an actual narcissist or narcissistic tendencies, it's really important that you learn that because it's not an attractive quality to have to not be able to apologize. And like I said, how sad is it that I said what I said? That yeah, I can't think of an apology that I've had yet, and that I've got a lot of nice people around me, and majority of them, you know, yeah, you know what I mean, argued with me at some point. And whether it be people still in my life or definitely people not in my life, it's the story that they'll be telling about why we're not in each other's lives. Well, that would be an interest. I'd like to be a fly in the wall, but actually couldn't they give a shit? So no, I wouldn't want to be a fly in the wall. It'd be lies. So but there's my truth, there's their truth, and there's the truth. That's a famous saying, isn't it? Let it go, guys, let it go. So, conflict and peace. See how that happened? Sometimes a conflict needs to escalate in order to reach peace. You might be holding something in to avoid confrontation, but the longer it boils inside of you, Venus and Aries, the harder it becomes to hold it. And also, it's Taurus moon right now. And Taurus moon is like, that's quite notorious for getting ready to blow. You know what I mean? Like, because it could be quite calm and grounded, but it's stubborn. So, you know, that could also be like not apologizing too. Just in some cases. And I think with it being conjunct Uranus, which sounds funny, doesn't it? But that'll be tomorrow at some point. That's like shaking you up to wake you up. Um, and again, I'm sorry to say that's going to be a lot of weather stuff. I mean, I called it with the shorts that was for yesterday that I filmed like whatever a week ago or something. I said there's going to be crazy weather, and I'm think I'm up to 5 separate. Like, what was it today? There was some kind of crazy. I think it was is that I'm not even good at I'm bad at maths, but it was like an insane amount of snow in Japan. So one of the weather videos I saw, it was ice on the road, and it was scarily like the pile-up scene in that horrible Netflix thing. And today it was like an obscene amount of snow. I'm talking like this, the length of the door, right? It was looked terrifying. It like literally being snowed in, you know, that takes it to another level. Um, it's just like we're in the Bible. It's like the apocalypse. So it's like fucking what book of the Revelations are we in today? So unfortunately, that yeah, there's going to be an earthquake because like 100% that's what that energy is linked to. So I pray for the safety of all. I don't even know with these other, but like I said, I'm always open to the fact some of these weather videos could be like some fucking idiot pulling stuff from years ago and it's not even real. But that's why I'm actually asking if people live in these parts of the world and you want to enlighten, please do. But it looked very real. I think they were real, to be honest. I can feel it, it felt real. But it's just the news doesn't tell you about shit like that. And but you can go look for yourself. Go and like see these weather things because there's loads of them. You know what I mean? But just be careful you're not watching one that's like there's some that like they live stream 24/7 and it's like watching a horror movie. Like they'll just show like tsunamis from like 10 years ago and that like on loop. So it's not them that I'm talking about. It's like it actually has the date, which remember anyone could do that too. So but anyway. Like the beautiful sunshine after a heavy storm, the fresh smell in the air, the blossom, the growth that comes as a result of the abundance of water, a conflict can also result in a beneficial outcome, personal growth, and a fresh new start. You might find that often after a conflict, the air has been cleared and peace is once again restored. This card encourages you to think of a conflict or fear of conflict as a sign that something is about to change. And we've already had cards, something's about to happen, it's coming. I hope it's not an argument. I hope it's a resolution. And it might be a bit of both. It might be a wee bit arguing, a wee bit of making up, and there might be a little bit of makeup sex going on for people too. But again, I've told people to slow down. But again, you do you, boo. But don't do Don't do angry sex. That's unhealthy. I'm sorry, I know some of you might like that, but it's really unhealthy because it's like that's like karmic love. You know what I mean? You don't, that's confusing to the body. Being serious, I'm going a bit tantra right now, but you don't want to do that. It's like your brain and your body will be in conflict. That's, yeah. Anyway, that's, so this card encourages you to think of a conflict or a fear of conflict as a sign that something is about to change or it's necessary that whatever is bothering you comes out in the open in order to restore calm in your life. You might want to try and see a potential conflict as a peacekeeping practice rather than just an uncomfortable interaction. In that way, the conflict doesn't necessarily become as heated as you might have anticipated. This is the same message coming out from last night, so there must be a lot in the collective that need to hear this. If you go into a potential confrontation with an inner calm, you could feel that it's already on its way to resolution. Or, like I've said before, watch one of my journeys, use the intention to speak to whoever it is you need to have this conversation with. I'd imagine it's a twin flame, but for some people, it could be someone else in your life. So, how do I know? And do it energetically, and you'll be amazed at how much more easy it is when you actually go to apologize or you contact the person or however it whatever it is you've got to do. Sometimes it's necessary to have an uncomfortable conversation or event in order to restore peace and create understanding. I face my conflict in order to restore peace. Do you know what, right? It's not in line with what I was just saying, right, that bit of finish, but I've just realised they kept flashing up Love Island again as I was talking. And it's because in the episode last night, they do this thing. That's I started talking about stripping and everything and went off from what I'd said it, but that's hilarious. Oh, it's like shit, it's 11:44, right, as I've said that too. So this must be an important message when it comes through at that time. So yeah, there's a girl on it. So if you watch Love Island, it's Ekin-Su that I'm talking about. But basically, first of all, she's a Leo at the highest degree, right? Very attention seeking. Like Leo sun people love attention. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with it to a certain extent. When you overdo it, fucking annoying. And I'm just sort of saying it's like I love Leo moon, Leo sun people. I love you out there too, but it's very Leo moon and Leo rising very different from Leo sun. I'm kind of like Leo sun people. I can think of some Leo sun people that I actually really love, and it's like it'd be good fun, like you know, if it's in person, good fun for like maybe a night out or like a bit of banter, but probably not like you know best friend material. But like I can also think, oh, actually no, I can think a few people I was close with, but in my past, but you see, then it didn't last, so that's a good point of what I'm pointing out. But and you see, that would be because a lot of Leo people can be quite jealous of my midheaven because my midheaven is in Leo and it's about being seen. Like their son would get jealous of that. True story, guys. If you've got the same placements, look out for it. But um, like yeah. So anyway, the point is with this story, because like I said, if I'm throwing shade on a side, I can equally throw the light. We've all got light and shadow, right? But she said that the girl was like the girl that's with this guy that she done it to, she was like, yeah, don't kiss him, right? Because it's a chat, it's a you know there it's not a challenge, it's like you know they get challenged to do like a strip tease kind of thing, and they had it's weird, it's kind of weird if you think about it. I mean, imagine you done that at a party, it would definitely fucking kick off. Here, stop fucking do you want to fucking stop riding my back? Do you know what I mean? It's not stop shoving your tits in my boyfriend's face. Do you know what I mean? There'd be all kinds of hair pulling and fucking everything going on. I don't advise copying Love Island in a natural scenario unless it's a swingers party or something. And maybe it's fucking access all areas. I don't know. Let's move away from this topic. But Christ, what am I channeling? Yeah, she basically said, like, yeah, please don't kiss him kind of thing. Well, what do you think the Leo at the highest degree done? She wanted to win. When I was watching that, I was like, oh, that's fucking embarrassing. Like she screams insecure. And the thing that's sad is like she's put out in the public as being like a strong, confident, empowered woman. Yeah, she's beautiful, she's hot, she's sexy, she's got all that going on. But so much insecurity. And I looked at her chart. She's Leo sun, but she's Pisces moon. So like the hidden part of her deeply insecure. But I don't even think that's hidden. If people can't see that, if they're watching Love Island, it's like, it's quite embarrassing, because like she's latched on to that Curtis guy that she's with and been very kind of like too much. Like, again, ladies watching Twin Flames or anyone that's not in the Twin Flame path, if you want to turn a guy off, just act like that. Like, you know, it's just insane. When I'm watching Love Island, it just cracks me up how it's been 24 hours and they're like, you know, it's like they're like, I own you. Do you know what I mean? That's karmic love. If someone is like that with you in your relationship, I'm sorry, you're probably in a karmic relationship, or someone's insecure. So again, that's the bit I wouldn't take the piss out of that, because it's not. So like I'm saying, I'm kind of, you know, we can do that with her because it's an example. But if you struggle with this, whether you're a female or a male, let me fucking help you. Just invest in the counselling. And again, like I said, it's not just counselling, it's shamanic counselling. I just like to use the word therapy because it's just, I like the word better. But it's because I'm a hypnotherapist and a coach and a healer and all that, you know, it's just, but I've helped loads of people that were deeply insecure with things and get to the other side and being confident and owning it. And it's just, yeah, with all the, like, she's like a I think she might be a multi-millionaire. She's definitely a millionaire. But um but it's kind of like, you know, but anyway, what I'm saying is she's very attention seeking because she wanted to win that. And it's like she wanted to win at all costs. Because imagine your friend saying, don't kiss him. And then the first thing she does, and the thing is, she's the only one that he kissed. She didn't even kiss the one that no, she did. She kissed the one she's with, but that's allowed. But in fact, she'd done a wee bit more than that. It was like they were totally, yeah, it was taking it too far in that bit. But anyway, like, but it's kind of like, yeah, what I'm giving this example for was because I really loved the way that the girl, and it was actually the one that in last night's video was saying like, oh, that was wrong that she told the guy to leave, because it was, I thought it was not very nice. But because, you know, anyway, because basically it's like the things you say to people have a consequence, because she said, why don't you just leave? And then he did leave, and I kind of think that wasn't really her place to say that, because I don't know how much of that was him doing that because she was like, just leave, or like, you know, we'll never know. Well, we wouldn't know if we'll see him on the interviews, um but yeah, what I liked was the girl basically pulled her up on it, and she was like, why did you kiss him when I asked you not to? And it was quite funny because she was really embarrassed. Like, the one that done it was like, no, she was like, did you kiss him? She was like, no, she fucking lied. Again, shadow side of Pisces, lying, lying. She lied. You know what I mean? You did kiss him. We all fucking seen your head. You're on the telly. You know what I mean? What the fuck? So, so again, I'm using this because it's the snake in the grass. It's the friend that, you know, you say, please don't do that. Guess what they do? They go and do exactly what you told them not to do. Look out for your friends. Look out. Who are your friends? You know what I mean? Is that person your friend? Are you sure that they're your friend? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, I don't know. This is a general message, but it must be really. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, are going to go through huge betrayals this year with the year of the snake. So just be discerning. Don't ignore the warning signs if you feel like someone's fucking you over. Sometimes it's your trauma, so you've got to be aware and not to bleed over somebody that didn't cut you because you haven't healed something from before. But um yeah, it really stood out to me. And then it's like, you know, she did apologize later on, but it's just, you know, the other ones, yeah, she's marked her card, is what we'd say here. I don't know if that's a Scottish thing or if that's like a British thing. I think it's a Scottish thing though. You know, you watch somebody from that moment on. And because it's just like that girl said, you know what I mean? Like, that's not the kind of friends I want around me. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, you've got enough in life. You don't want to be wondering if your friends are going to fuck you over like that. But yeah, it's like, my point is, it's just really sad because it's like, you know, she's already with somebody that she's like really settled down with. Except that was going to bit. That's by the by, it was going to bit all over the place. But I think the guy did turn his head to somebody else because she's like, she's screaming insecurity underneath all that fake confidence. You know what I mean? Like, because if she was really, truly, genuinely confident, she would have just been like, oh well, if he's easy enough pulled away that, then he's not the right one for me. Well, he's not the right one right now. Like, he needs to go away and fucking sort of shit and come back and, you know, get in if he's lucky. But it's like, that's what you would really say if you unconditionally love yourself. And that's, I'm just pointing that out for anybody that is watching Love Island, or even if you're not, because like I said, the way they get me to describe it, it's still relevant to the message. Like, be careful who you're sort of idolizing or looking up to as being like a confident woman or a confident man, because that's not confident to me. She's beautiful, and she's got a, like, you know, she's funny in that. She's got like you said, she's got a nice personality, but that's not a nice person. Do you know what's quite interesting? She's got Pluto and Scorpio like me, and that's like the shadow. She's using the shadow side of it rather than the empowered, like, because she has got. That's what I mean about. Remember, I've said before, for the Pluto and Scorpio generation, which are people ages with me, but it's also some of you that are like 10 years younger, I think, roughly from what I've seen in charts. It's dangerous. Like, especially those of you that are in a relationship, like, you could be put in predicaments on nights out and stuff where you could feel an intense pull to someone else. And it's the Pluto thing. It's a weird energy. And it's, you'll know what I mean? Like, you don't even need to have alcohol in the mix. You've just, the amount of discipline that people need in this world is ridiculous. And that's why I can actually understand why, you know, people do stray and all that, especially when you add in all these different things. But that's why, you know, I think this is my Saturn talking. People have got to take more responsibility with their own heart, but other people's, you know. Like, I've just always said, you don't want to do to someone else what you wouldn't want done to yourself. But sadly, not many people live by that rule. But anyway, that's a very deep and profound message to come through. So I'm going to trust that all the messages that are meant to have come through have come through. So I'm going to go and watch Love Island now, and I'll no doubt probably weave it into tomorrow. But I'll be on. It's tomorrow, Wednesday. I think I'll aim for about 4 or 5. I think I should be on about half 4 or 5, but I'll be on at some point, and I want to do the separate ones. So that's the plan anyway. If the plan changes, the plan changes. And then I won't be doing lives Thursday or Friday. Because I'm helping out looking after a wee doggy one of these days. So I'm really looking forward to that. My little soulmate one. So boundaries. Oh my God, where do you need to establish better boundaries? Look at that. That card to me is always my sign of all the energy vampires. So sadly, some of these energy vampires could be your friends, could be your co-workers, could be your family, could be a combination of all of it, could be your lover. I think that would be speaking to people that are, you know, with the karmic person, or loads of karmic people. Where do you need better boundaries? Only you'll know. Because, you know, I can think of scenarios in my life where, you know, like, if you've, you know, this is things like long in the past, but like, you know, if you've been, or actually not just long in the past, I can go through things like, you know, in waves, but like, when, you know, you've made it clear to somebody you're having a date yourself or something, and then they still text you loads, or they call you, or even worse, turn up at your door or something. And this would only be if you'd said to somebody, like, what the fuck? Like, I said, like, I nearly said mate there, like, I said, I'm not feeling too good, I want to be myself. What part of that did you not understand? Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say, like, well, it depends actually. It depends if someone was trying to be a fucking widow. But do you know what I mean? There is always people like that, where it's like they think they're above that boundary. And look out for that, because that's not cool. You know what I mean? And sometimes it can just be some people can be blind to it because nobody respects their boundaries, therefore they're not respecting yours, and it's not intentional. But sometimes it can be a power thing, you know. I think I'm talking about the Pluto stuff again. Sometimes it's like, oh, she says that to them, but she doesn't mean that for me. And that's taking the piss. So I don't know who I'm talking to there, but pay attention to that. Lineage of the rose, moved by the goddess, here for this so-called gather. I feel that energy is like that Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary energy that I'm feeling, very Venusian energy, because just like how I said in the community tab, like I've had a really very, very divine feminine day in the sense of I haven't done a whole lot. But it was like, yeah, like it was funny, like after it kind of just chilled and like, you know, and it was funny, like I couldn't really get to sleep last night and I thought if I need a long lie, I'm gonna have one. But I ended up waking up really early and then I had a nice breakfast, like an actual breakfast time, which doesn't happen too often. And then like I thought I don't need to go a walk, but I really want to, and I had a nice wee walk in the rain. And then I had something nice for my tea, the rice. Again, rice is boring, but I did, you know, nah, I didn't really like it, to be honest. But anyway, it was healthy. So that was being nice to myself. And yeah, and then I stayed in the bath for ages. Like, you know, I felt like a mermaid. And then I was like, oh shit, like, you know, fuck I was meant to do that. But it was just kind of like, and that's the kind of things where a lot of people, you know, you would be like, oh no, I've not got anything done, or but actually, I'm different. I felt like that was really quite. I wouldn't say productive. That's not the right word, but it felt like I'd been really kind to myself, and it's what was needed. And so I feel, you know, hopefully some of you divine feminists, male or female, are resonating with that. And perhaps even some of our divine masculines that are matching energy. Do you know what I mean? But if not, I just always stress they'll catch up with that at some point and it will do them good, even if it means not being with you. You should want the other half of your soul to be happy and not having all of that around them, because that's at some point how it is. Because that's at some point how it was for me too, by the way. Probably more hands than that. Try like tripling it. There was always somebody wanting something from me. And when it became very quiet and I didn't have as many people like needing me to put out a fire, it was weird at first. And I thought, this is too weird. And then, and actually, this is a theme because I spoke about this with someone recently. And then I got used to it. And then I realized that I was just used to the chaos and the drama, either my own or other people's. And now my life is really peaceful. It's not like that. And if I'm putting out a drama, it's probably someone I'm working with, and that's really how it should be. You know, it's not like, you know, obviously things can happen here and there in my own life and other people's, but it's not constant. And that's why you got to be careful that you're not got an addiction to drama. If you've got an addiction to drama and you want to feed it in some sort of way, feed it with something educational or entertaining, make you laugh, healing. Again, like the healing banter, like that is what is right here. But it is healing. But or Love Island or something, you know what I mean? Or find whatever, like I said, because like I said, I make no apologies. That is my fun. Like I like to watch reality TV show because it just I escape into it. But would I want to live my life the way that you feel? No, no. I wouldn't fucking sell my soul to go in a program where basically you're shagging on the telly and people are watching. Thanks very much. I can think of other places where people, you know, very similar. No, no. But like I say all the time, with my Gemini North Node in the house of sex, the eighth house, I am here to talk about things like that. You know what I mean? So I do find it quite interesting. Like I find it interesting how far some people go, you know, because it's like last night, again, I'm sure it's a fucking treat for the guys that are watching it because like I think that's probably the worst I've seen for what they were wearing. Like I thought, imagine their fucking dads were watching that. Like that's fucking embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? Like they were some of them were practically naked and they're like simulating sex and that. And I'm like, look, it's bad enough to be talking about it and that. Like I cringe and I just put that out of my head. But it's kind of like, you know, when I have to talk about things like this, you know, thank God me and my dad just having a great, you know, I mean, he just pretends he doesn't choose it. And again, he's not, the thing is, I do things that, but he's not got, you know, he's not got enough time to fucking tune into these all the time. He'll probably, when he's bored, go and have a wee look and see what I'm doing, but oh, she's talking another language, I'm off. But it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's one thing, you know, having to do stuff like that for your work, but actually, you know, doing that stuff on the telly like that, it's just because what was that I was watching? I was watching one of those Olivia Atwood's things. She does like documentaries about like sex basically. And I spoke about this before when I binge watched the last series. Like I literally watched it all in one night, and I was like, the dreams were weird that night. Put it that way. Like it was a lot of the like the dark side of the sex industry. I was like, holy shit! Like people that dress up and is like, oh, anyway, moving on. But I watched the new series, and it was like there was a bit in it where now the woman was describing what was she describing? she was an older woman and she was describing her work, and her work was like, getting her bits and bobs out and, quizzing on certain sites, probably, it's around that area. And then she said something like, she was asked, like, well, what does your daughter think about it? And her daughter was like, oh, my daughter thinks it's great. Yeah, she thinks it's really empowering and like, empowering and go. And I was like, oh no. As soon as I start hearing that chat, I know someone's been brainwashed. Doing shit like that is not empowerment. It's a little bit like what I don't want to refer. I don't want to refer to Ekin now because that's not quite. That's not what they're doing. But a certain extent, it kind of is. You know what I said? Like you are putting yourself on the telly for entertainment, and a lot of them are, you know, getting it on under the covers. And it's just like I said, thank God we don't get the whole fucking show like we did at the in the first series. When they didn't do it under the covers, put it that way. You got the whole fucking rodeo quite literally in one episode. Scarred me for life. Um oh dear. Um yes. I just remember when I spoke about it last time, it was funny, but it's fucking true. But anyway, you just get a hint of it now. You get a hint of it. And it's yeah, but no, when somebody starts saying that, it's like, oh yeah, it's empowering that. It's not. It's not empowering. It's not at all. Like it means you're choosing the addiction to money over value and how you feel about yourself. And again, I've not really spoke too much about that, but because everybody else is, there's that. I've seen that there's a bit of a competition. There's the girl that slept with like 1,000 guys in like one day or something, and then there's somebody else that's either done it already or planning to. Like, oh yeah, how proud! Like, I don't even really want to go into that too much because I can't really take. But it just it's disgusting, but it's more saddening, and it's like the trauma that's going to cut the trauma and the shame that is eventually going to catch up with those girls is it's yeah, I find it deeply distressing. But it's and the proof is there because the one that has done it, I don't know if the other one's already done it, but I mean, is this what they teach on TikTok nowadays? I really don't know, but I'm sounding old, but it's like it is horrifying that people think that's cool. It's horrifying. Like, um, yeah, it's like I didn't watch that documentary, but I keep thinking I kind of want to because I think it's on YouTube. But like I saw a clip of it where the guy's like, asked her how she feeling, how she feels, and I mean like emotionally, and because again I think there could be anyway. Moving on, um, uh, like she starts crying, and like that alone shows you she's not feeling proud of herself. She's feeling pretty dirty and ashamed, and and that's what I mean. That's horrible about it. Was that really worth it for however much money she's making and attention? But that's how desperate some people are for fame. Like it's fame, money, whatever it is, it's weird and it's sad. And I seriously do pray for that. It's yeah, anyway, moving on. Sorry I took it that way, but whatever. Healing the mother line. Oh my god, look, exactly. Healing ancestral work, mother line going up. I can't believe I was holding that card and I hadn't really taken in what it was. And that's what I mean. Like it was when I saw that woman say, "Oh yeah, my daughter," and then I think, but then this was the contradiction. When Olivia, the interviewer, asked when she said, "Would you be happy if she done it?" And she was like, "No, I have to be honest. Like I wouldn't." What? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just addicted to the money. As long as the money's coming in, she'll keep getting her tats out. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. Right. The initiation. Well, that's one way to call it. Rite of passage. You're going somewhere sacred. Yes. That's not your path. Take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. I'm sorry. I think my guides are taking it too far now. That's kind of like that's that's too far for me with what I just missed. Take a break. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Right. So let's bring in some of these cards and I'm going to go because I need to shut that window because it's freezing. Absolutely freezing. Oh, forgiveness. See the bigger picture, trust and heal. I'm wondering now, with me giving that very extreme example, I feel this could be where like men and women are healing. And so this is where it extends beyond the twin flames. This is like, because again, like I said, a lot of these messages I'm noticing, they are actually for anyone, you know. Like, and I feel that's when I've said before, don't be surprised if you see me kicking about and it's another channel. Because I am meant to be healing the I just wouldn't share it on here. But it's like I'm meant to be sharing stuff for people that aren't just twin flames now, you know. And again, I know some people watch that aren't, but it's like I feel I'm giving a message of like healing the shame and guilt of like being too promiscuous or something like that and needing to clear your energy from all these energy hooks. Like sleeping with that many different people, especially the example I just get. I mean, let's come away from that example because that's like, you know, that's a bit much. That's just, I mean, what do you say? You know, I mean, again, I seriously, I'm praying for both those girls to stop treating themselves with that amount of disrespect. Like, yeah. Um, like because of what that's going to do to their mental health is what I'm saying. Like that could actually drive somebody completely insane. Completely. Like the amount of entities. I would even say that that is an like yeah, it's something. Um Forgiveness, see the bigger picture, trust and heal. I feel that is about, you know, everybody's got a past, and forgiving yourself. And but again, just like, you know, maybe thanking yourself that you didn't go down a path as dark as that. You know, there's however dark you think your path is, there's always somebody else that's taking it to the next level. Do you know what I mean? Like, Christ, if you've taken it to that level, then you know there's still get deliverance. Book a session. I can help you. Um, and if you fucking know them personally, send them my way too. Christ, I'll have a word. Jesus Christ. Oh, but it would, in all seriousness, somebody that people would need to decide that for themselves. They might think that's fucking great. They might think that's cool. People that are cheering them on might think it's cool. I don't know. Share space, telepathy, co-creation, communing, honoring. I think that was to do with when I was saying about the telepathy between the twin flames. Multi-dimensional, multiple. Oh, la, 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 I need to go now. Multiple. Why doesn't that feel right? Multiple dimensions, timelines. Be you. Don't even try to fit in. Right. Boom. Drop the mic. With Venus newly in Aries and Aquarius season, rebellious. Be you. Be unique. And actually, be you is very Aries energy too. It's yeah. Don't even try to fit in. Just be you. Like I said last night when I finished that channeling and I weaved it in with the Love Island, whether I'm doing that about a program or a film, usually a film, how in the fuck is somebody meant to copy that? That would be hilarious if somebody tried to copy the way I do that. Like, and it's not that other people might not like, you know, there's loads of people that decode films, and it's definitely what I do too. But the way in which I weave it into my channel is pretty hilarious. And like I said, it's so weird. It takes it so weird sometimes. I'm like, what? But it did make sense with what was coming through. So manifest, co-creation, gratitude, divine alignment, joyful visions. And I feel they're showing that because it's like what I'm saying. It was weird. And some people won't get it and they'll be like, oh my God, what the fuck is she on about? And blah, blah, blah. But so what? That's happened the whole time I've done this. Do you know the amount of emails or back in the day, it would be things in my inbox of people being like, oh my God, that felt like you were just talking to me. Like men and women, by the way, like of all ages. It'd be like, that felt like it was just for me, just for me. Well, you know, it wasn't just for you. It was for like fucking the 20 other people that were on the live stream. Or like when I was in the groups and private groups, it would be like when I used to go live in the spiritual group, there'd be like 60, 70 people on a live and like people would be connecting, maybe like, oh, that felt like it was. So do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's just amazing how these messages can speak to a lot of people. And all I know is I'm just showing up, delivering the message. And if it speaks to you, great. And I hope it helps you. But it's good to recognize when you need a wee bit more than the general message that felt personal. You need to see if it actually is your message. And if the same message comes through again, it is. You know what I mean? Right, there's quite a few came out there. So I think I've used all the decks they wanted me to. Love language. Oh my God, look what I was talking about. Love language. Physical touch, a tender touch means so much. I've been talking about sex a lot tonight, so it makes sense. Dreams come true. Have faith. Your rainbow will come smiling through. That's where I normally sing. That's when your dreams will all come true. Oh my God, I put that in the title of the one yesterday. Wowzers. Rekindle. An old flame returns. That was me being clairvoyant because I put that in the title last night. Love language, acts of service. Oh, it's the one where someone's skating on thin ice. Look, because there's there's an ice skate. Especially because it's that time of year. Oh, actions speak louder than words. That's got to be the thumbnail. An old flame returns, and just wait to see if actions speak louder than words. So be extra mindful of love bombers out there, people. You know, love bombing is fine if it's genuine and backed up by actions and if it's consistent. And like I say all the time, I think for a lot of people in the true twin flame journey, it's not relevant because most of the time the divine masculine hasn't said either anything nice at all ever or not done it very much because they acted like they didn't care. Or yeah, so that's not, it's probably a karmic energy or a karmic masculine, as people would say, if somebody like was like, you know, all about you for like 6 weeks, running your bath, buying you presents, taking you to fancy restaurants, and then after that, I was like, you know, treating you like shite. That's a karmic energy. Don't, you know, cut them loose. Don't let people like that back in. What would be healthy is somebody declaring how they really feel, taking it slowly, getting to know each other, building the trust, and then you can go full steam ahead all you want. It would be hard not to in Venus and Aries, to be honest, especially with an old flame. But yeah, just make sure that like words match actions because especially in the twin flame journey, I'd love to think that some of you that are reconnecting you're both fully healed and it's the right time and you're on the same page. And that is going to be the case for a lot of people. But there are some people where it's a test and it's like the divine masculine's testing your boundaries, like whether they know it or not, you know, because it's very much a spiritual journey. Like they'll come in and it's to see whether you're going to be like, oh, well, I wouldn't put up with this crap with anyone else, but they are my twin flame. If you're taking that attitude, you're not healed enough. Like go back to the drawing board and go back to lesson 101. Value yourself, value your energy, you know, and because they mirror it. So it's kind of like, you know, yeah, actions speak louder than words. That goes for everyone though, doesn't it? Actions speak louder than words. Like if someone was really sorry and a friend from the past, they would make an effort to say sorry. If they've not said sorry and they've not showed up, they're not really that sorry. You know what I mean? And then there are the case where it's like, you know, people will try to come back from the past, but sometimes it can just be like they miss your energy and their energy vampires. So you got to watch for that too. You know what I mean? It's like it's a bit of a fucking minefield out there. Oh God, right. I think that's the ones. I wanted to use one of these. So I don't know if I'll read the whole card, but let's finish it with one more card. Supernova. There's that card in case it comes out. Oh, I've not seen this one yet. Steampunk Priestess. Looks like she's got some third eye action going on there. I hope I held that card up long enough to get the screenshot. Right. Number 7, so that could be significant. So that could be the 7th of February. That's significant. The steampunk priestess. 1, 2, 3. Trust in what you see. Oh my God, is this going to be about the same message again? Like seeing clearly, or oh fuck's sake. 4, 5, 6. The truth behind the tricks. Trickery again. 7, 8, 9. Clarity, divine clarity. Oh my God, I'm getting so sick of hearing that word. So I'm telling you, I think that keeps happening because somebody needs to book a session. I don't say that all the time, right? But it's coming through because my session is called Crystal Clear Clarity. I'm sure of it because it's too much. You shall see what you need to see, at the perfect moment it shall be. Right, I think we need to read the rest of the card because I've not read this before. Appearances can deceive, yet when the time is right, incisive intuition slices through the illusion and the truth hits you between the eyes. Oh my God. What has either happened to people out there or is about to happen? I mean, this is an omen for some, or it's very present, or this is your past. It's different for all of us. That is the perception of reality behind the illusion. You know it when you experience it, and you know that you have to trust it. You trust in what you see, right? That's 2 cards. And look at how I nearly didn't pull this one. They really wanted to hammer it home for those of you that are gaslighting yourselves. You have to trust in what you see. Again, are the person's words matching up with actions? Now that feels like karmic people, but it goes for everyone. Are the person's words backing up the person's actions? So give yourself permission to acknowledge and accept the power of those insights. Don't talk yourself out the truth. That's what I call gaslighting yourself. Intuition might only last for a second, and yet it can change the way you look at things forever. Yeah, that's, you'll hear many people say, myself included, intuition isn't something, to be honest, with my experience, it does scream at me sometimes, but generally speaking, like, I mean, like, all the signs will be slapping me in the face, but that's just because I get signs like 24/7. So it's like they have to kind of, I don't know, get my attention somehow. But for most people, intuition's very quiet. It's the ego that shouts at you. It's the ego that'll be like, you're not good enough, you're not ready, you've not done enough. You may as well stay here. They're not going to like you. I don't know, all these different, you're not good enough for that job, or they don't want to be your friend anymore. Just things, shitty things. That's the ego shouting at you. The intuition is the quiet, small voice. It's like, keep going. You've got this. That is the right way. It's that's the best way that I can describe it. Intuition might only last for a second, and yet it can change the way you look at things forever, setting you on a more authentic course. There's another thing about changing course, changing path, changing route, and allowing for changes to take place that you might have previously believed were impossible. Again, I think this is a lot to do with the divine masculine, male and females, that you just did not see any way that it was going to be possible for you to be with your twin flame, to even have them in your life in some cases. And now there's a veil being lifted where it's coming about. And again, for everybody's situations, it's completely different. There's loads and loads of different scenarios, and where both people might still be like, no idea how, in what world it would be okay for us to be together. But again, that's the bit you just have to let go of. Especially the feminine, actually. It's not your place to work all that out. Like, again, I think that's why that says actions speak louder than words. Like, the masculine, if they're guided to be with you or to make an effort with you, even just to be a friend before anything else, they'll be given a conundrum to work out, or a puzzle, because that's what, again, masculine energy is like, having something to work out and to, a puzzle to solve, kind of thing. The steampunk priestess comes to you when there is more to something or someone than initially meets the eye. You might need to look closer to understand what's happening, or to trust in what you're already perceiving, even if a part of you doubts it, because the truth of the matter in such cases would be so at odds with superficial appearances. She reminds you to trust in your insight, no matter how startling, surprising, or shocking that intuitive hit might be. Right, again, I have to stress, for people that don't know astrology, that's the Uranus in Taurus. Trust what you see in the physical, because you could have been hoodwinked and now it's showing you, right? The epiphany, the revelation, the awakening. That's the real life. You could have been living an illusion, a dream, a nightmare in some cases. Like I said, Sleep with the Enemy comes to mind. That's only for some people that's relevant. She also brings a reminder to get focused on what matters to you. It's on page 33 too, Deliverance, Jesus energy. And I just mentioned that. Then you won't lose precious energy by either worrying about what could go wrong, or trying to sort something out in your head. When the time is right, even the most confusing situation is going to come into focus, or your understanding of the matter, and what you need to do or not do will be crystal clear. I'm done. I'm not saying anything. Set an intention for clarity. Right, they're taking the piss now. I'm leaving. This is just, after I just said that. Crystal clear and clarity. Crystal clear clarity. What my session's called. Who is it out there that needs to book a session? I'm getting pissed off when I keep fucking reading the same. It's fucking annoying. Yesterday it was seeing clarity every minute. Book a fucking session. I don't know who you are, but you need to book a session. Or you're seeing something crystal clear. I don't fucking know. Set an intention for clarity. You can do this with the healing trick below and trust in what you see. Right, okay. I'm going to end this now with the healing trick. And my healing trick will be I disappear until tomorrow. Right, so to help you take the wisdom offered and put it to best use in your life now, do this healing trick to clear obstacles to putting this guidance into place. I'm losing my words, so I'll just do my best. Be seated comfortably and rest your dominant hand, the one you use to write with, on your chest over your heart. The other non-dominant hand can lightly touch your forehead, just slightly above the center point between your brows. Relax and breathe in and out several times. You might like to close your eyes for a few moments whilst you do this, and we'll just, with your permission, detach from the old earth of fear, lack, negativity. Connect to the new earth of peace, calm, abundance, balance of the masculine and feminine, releasing the karmic lessons that and repeated lessons that you keep repeating, that it's just you're getting stuck in the same cycle. You've learned the lessons you need to learn, unless you haven't. I don't know who's listening, but you've learned the lessons you need to learn. Let go of the past, connect to the new earth energy, and which is, I know it can sound really galactic and really far out, but I just like to stress it is simply making a different decision to go another way, to do what maybe you wouldn't do before, and you're deciding to do, whether you want to call it better or just who you are now, right, with more wisdom. When you make a different choice, you're automatically, you quantum leap to your highest timeline. You know what I mean? And that can change your life. So it's important. And that can happen with like just regular hypnotherapy. You know, I'm a hypnotherapist too, but because I do quantum healing and counseling therapy and shamanic healing and Reiki, and you know, like I said, I'm a Reiki master, but I more just feel the shamanic part trumps it. But it's kind of like, it's light code activations. It's like yeah, that's how I can shift people's energy really, really quickly. So when my therapy isn't just your regular therapy, because people can see counselors for years and years and years. People don't need to see me for years. You know what I mean? I've had a couple of people to think of that did choose to get therapy over a couple of years, but the rest of them actually only done it once for 10 sessions and they felt amazing. So there's no judgment on the people that do need more. I happen to think it's probably just people that kind of like my energy. And that's more, the people that done that were more like kind of, you know, going to become a coach themselves. So that's what I mean about counseling and coaching. Right, so we're connected to the new earth, you know, where you're going to make a better decision for your life. So go you, and you can do this. My intention is clear. I see all I need to see. I free myself in my heart and mind to look beyond the surface of things, to witness the deeper reality. When you're ready, relax your hands back to a resting position. If you have a particular issue you would like to see more clearly, then you can also say or listen to these words. The unconditionally loving eye of my heart shows me the truth in the matter of. Describe your question or issue now. But again, I would pose that I feel somebody was asking something and this answered it, because for this many cards to be coming out saying the same thing, which does happen on every live, but it's come through really pretty strongly. Somebody must have been getting the clarity through whatever's been shared tonight. And again, it's not my job to know who that is, but if you want to let me know, I'd appreciate it. With gratitude and relaxation, I receive the insights I need for understanding and resolution. According to the divine grace and divine timing, so be it. So it might not be directly watching this right now, live or on replay. It might be a few days later the epiphanies and the revelations come, because if you're not aware of that, that's how my energy is used. Like with my rainbow, diamond, violet flame, frequency, Blu-ray, you know, I'm connected to loads of different, you know, energies. Like that is what happens. People have huge epiphanies and revelations either during a session, watching this, or after it. Like a clear your energy, activate, awaken, amplify, you know what I mean? It all goes on. Now you will gaze at the oracle card and relax. Well, you won't, but I'll give you a wee. Wait a minute. Can't even pick her up. Who's on the back? Maybe I meant to show that. There she is. Now you will gaze at the Oracle card and relax. Focus gently on the central circle between the two circular frames of her eyes. Is it even in the shot? It is. Frames of her glasses. Imagine, feel, visualize, or pretend it becomes filled with light and sends a beam of light into your forehead at the point just above your eyebrows meet. Imagine, feel, visualize, or pretend that you have a circular light shining in your forehead now. And again, I'm setting the intention that I'm sending that healing to blast away whatever is blocking the lies and the deception. That just beware, be prepared to see the truth. Whenever you ask to see the truth of it, you got to be prepared. That ain't my fault. It's your responsibility. If you want to live a lie and you don't want to see the truth, click off now. I think it's too late though if you've been listening at this point. So, it feels cool and clear and open and bright, but relaxed too. You've completed your healing trick. Your job now is to trust in the insights that come to you. And again, some of it won't be pretty. Perhaps out the blue or when you aren't really thinking of your issue at hand. So, the eye of love is in my heart and the eye of light is in my head. Show me the truths most helpful for me to see at the perfect time and in the perfect way. I feel relaxed and comfortable, trusting in what I see when I see it. Alice. I've read that one before, but I'll just quickly. Oh, I've been on here for like 4 hours or something. How long have I been on here? No, it was 9, wasn't it? Does it tell me here? Nah, not even 3 hours. Just shy of 3 hours. That's nothing around here. Oh shit. I need to stop fucking about. Wait a minute. I need to go because I'm fucking about the Zoom thing. And it's right. New world. Oh, it's a new arc. It's a very new arc. That sounds like Arthur or something, doesn't it? That might be someone's ancestor, I'd imagine, unless, we've got some modern Arthurs out there. That was. I'm like, every time I say that, I'm like, why do I think that was my grandpa's name? No, I'm sure Arthur features somewhere. I can't. Oh no, it's a great granddad or something. Because I remember, like, one of my friends, their great granddad or granddad actually is called Arthur too. Yeah. So new worlds are calling you forth where the old rules don't apply. It might seem strange or freeing or wild or even scary at first. This is Lincoln too. But you're meant to explore these new worlds. You will gain so much from the experience. There's no need to be afraid. Yeah, and I've read this one loads of times now. Well, 3 or 4 times. Um, the universe is responding to your spiritual need to broaden your horizon with new friends. See how that fits if you have discovered that your friends aren't really your friends. Opportunities and communities that are or soon will be available to you. Yeah, you may welcome the unfamiliar, or you may find it intimidating. You may wonder if you belong in those possibly strange new worlds, or if you may feel like you've come home. Again, it just feels like the excitement of like, this feels scary and I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm trusting. And that's the best way to be. Living in fear is a painful place to be being too long. And I know because I've done it myself. Like I say all the time, but like I stalled for ages, believe it. Although I've been doing this now for a long time, like 10 years in public, like I I could have actually been like someone that was doing that for longer. You know what I mean? Like I could have started sooner. But I was scared. And there was always levels to it. So um but again, I had bigger demons and devils to face because I was going to be a teacher helping other people. So, and also because I help other teachers and guides and stuff. They're not all that, but a lot of people it is. So if you're one of them, then closure and sacrifice, but it's in reverse. Love may come with sacrifices. Evaluate what you're willing to give up. That's Rosie in the past, especially the divine masculine, male and female. You sacrificed your own happiness. Again, I can think of a lot of people I've worked with where it was for the children. That's an understandable one. But like I say all the time, your child will grow up one day and they will probably tell you themselves, why did you do that? You know what I mean? Like a good honest person, which I'm assuming that those of you out there, male and female, are bringing up children to be good, honest people of integrity. They'll probably turn around and tell you, you know, Like, you know, that's too much pressure actually. Do you know what I mean? So closure. But yeah, whether it's not all to do with children, I feel some of you have sacrificed in other ways. Like, can't think of one right now. Like, I suppose, like, if you've got a partner or something that's got, like, you know, a mental health issue or maybe even a disability or something. And again, it's admirable, it's admirable to a certain extent, but again, like, there are other avenues you can go down. It's basically, it's codependent. That's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of like when you've got a friend that's always in a dark place, but you're actually in a good place, and you'd be in a better place if you weren't always getting bogged down with their stuff. There comes a certain line between, you know, that give and take reciprocal romantic relationship or friendship or even family, where you don't need to sacrifice your happiness. Like, so another one would be like, if you're sacrificing your happiness to make sure up. Oh yeah, I think they're giving me that example because I watched it. It's new. It's, what's it called? It was quite funny. It's on Prime and it's Renee's, not Renee Zellweger. It's fuck's sake, what's her name? The one that's in Cruel Intentions. Renee something, isn't it? I don't know why I forgot her name. It's because I'm tired. The one that's in Legally Blonde, whatever her name is. Why the fuck have I forgot her name? I'm forgetting actors' names all the time. That annoys me because I'm. But Will Thingy-Majigger as well. Don't know why I forgot his name either. That's weird. I know these people's names, but right now I can't remember. Will Ferris. And basically the long and short of it is it's yeah, you can watch it yourself. It's about this. Yeah, I'm not going into the storyline. The point is, there's two very strong examples of codependent or even toxic parents, but different examples because he's like a dad that's being too in the daughter's business, like, you know, just too much and like too involved and sat like basically he's putting a pressure on the daughter that he's not happy unless she is. And she basically says, like, you know, my happiness shouldn't depend on, like, I shouldn't feel that, basically I shouldn't feel that pressure. So it's a comedy, but you'll see what I mean if you just used to watch it. I can't remember it's some, I can't remember the name, but it'll be getting advertised. If you've got Amazon or that, you'll probably see the advert coming up. Um, but um, and then there's another example with a woman that her, it looks like through most of the film that her family's like toxic and narcissistic. It's made to look that way. Um, and I'd say to a certain extent that's actually true, right? But then it kind of comes full circle and it kind of shows you that, like, you know, they are who they are and there's a lot of bad traits. But actually, you know, the one that's being like the mum that's being like quite toxic and, you know, kind of, well, yeah, toxic, just not very nice to her. It actually comes from her mum being like that to her, and that brings it back to that healing the mother line. You often do find that I'd say in a lot of the cases, if somebody is like quite a cold Empress and reverse energy, they might not have had the warmest of mums themselves. I've met some people where some people claim, oh yeah, my granny was really lovely, but my mum wasn't. But that's not a, you know, but sometimes that can be the case that someone's a really great nana or a granny, but they weren't the warmest to their own child. You know, that's extremely common. Um, like again, I don't really, again, like it's, you know, I'm like, Nana, can I say that? Well, I better say it now. Like, you know, my Nana's like was a really sweet little old woman. And like, I mean, I say, sorry, but I mean, it's true. Like, you know, and I say, oh, she's my best friend. And in spirit, she's still one of my best friends kind of thing. You know, this is not around me all the time, but well, it's true she is. But she'll come in and give me a sign, like, you know, fairly often if I need one kind of thing. But she wasn't the warmest of mums, you know, and, you know, I'm sure from the spill, I know from the spirit world, she has even came through and said sorry to my mum sometimes. But she was a Capricorn. Like my mum had a Capricorn mum and dad. And again, Capricorn's got the great side of it too, but it is very serious and stern and quite cold. So um but you know, my mum's actually like, you know, my mum would do anything for me and she's very angelic and that. But we do have to hug her first, you know, like that is true. But she's like so cuddly and loving in that with my nieces, you know, because she is that, and she actually is that with me now too. You know what I mean? Because it's like I've taught her to be. But so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like, you know, get on at my mum for, well, maybe some, you know, I'm not perfect. Like sometimes I would in the past, but like it's that's why I always say, you know, it's not about blame and shame. Like so that's a good example of like that's not toxic, is it? It's just it is what it is. But some people can be toxic with it. It's really about you know, my mum must have made a decision at some point not to be that cold mother. And I'm fucking glad she did. I'm proud she did because, like I said, my mum's my best pal. But it's, you know, it doesn't always go that way. Sometimes, like, you've got, because again, my nana wasn't like nasty. Well, she was at some point. She wasn't really, like, you know what I mean? But it was not in the obvious way. It would be like my nana was all about my uncles and not so much about my mum. And I always noticed that. So there must be something going on like that for some of you. But like I said, it's very common, that kind of stuff. So closure. Not all connections are meant to be except closure. Wow. So that's quite strong wording, but I feel that's about some of the masculine, female and females. Female and females. There must be some same sex watching. Well, there will be at some point. But I feel that's about the masculine, male and females realizing not all connections are meant to be. Like, you've went as far as you were meant to on that karmic path, and it's time to close the door, quite literally. Look what's in the back when I said that, doorway, and I didn't see that because I was about to say, and probably time to open the door to like the twin flame path, an opportunity, and it's got an open door in it. That's hilarious. That one's got a closed door. Fuck, that's the perfect one because that's like that reminds me of sliding doors. Like, you know what I mean? I've channeled about sliding doors before, and you know and that's funny because I saw a synchronicity about that just yesterday or the other day. There, it is. It's like that's where we're at. You can either, this is an analogy, if you've not seen it, you can, whether you're male or female, you can either choose to stay with a karmic partner that you've got a feeling they're doing you dirty. And if you've seen that scene, that is a horrible scene. I'm going to spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. She comes home and catches her boyfriend at it with his ex-girlfriend. I hope that's not happened to anyone. Sometimes it's literal when they give me these examples. And it's quite a graphic, you know. That's another taking it to the rodeo scene. You know what I'm saying? Why have I mentioned that? Two references to that and the one, but you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, quite graphic. Um, and yeah, it's horrible, really horrible scene. You know, for that to happen, you know what I mean? Like, whenever I've spoke to people where they've walked in on, I have spoke to people before where they've walked in on somebody, and that's just like, yeah, it's horrible. It reminds me in Love Actually when he walks home. He walks in because he's forgotten something, and his brother's there, and the wife shouts through, "Hurry up, big boy! I've got an hour before such and such gets home." And it's like, you know what I mean? That's no funny. That's fucking sick if you would do that to your own family member. But some people do it, and I'm sorry if that happened to you. And if you've done something like that to someone too, you know, forgive yourself and go and get healing for it. But I just, when people have got the capacity to do that to others, it's like taking it to a next level. It's one thing doing the dirty with like a friend or somebody that you know is like off limits or something, but going to that extent, it's like, fuck me, man. But anyway, close the door on the, oh yeah, and then so what was the point in that? Yeah, so, and then in the film, she stays with him. No, wait a minute. Yeah, so basically that's the timeline where she catches him at it with a girl. That then she dumps him, quite rightly so, and she cuts her hair, and that's how you're able to tell in the film. It's, you know, because otherwise it'd be too confusing. She cuts her hair, and she meets the other new guy, and falls in love, and then it shows you the other timeline where she doesn't catch the boyfriend cheating, and he's cheating the whole time, but she's feeling it. She's getting all the signs and she's ignoring all the red flags. I'm sorry, this must be making sense to some people out there where you feel like something like this is going on. Now, it might not be about cheating, it might be about like people talking behind your back or not being real friends or family that are up to no good, or somebody that you're working with. It again, I've given examples like this before because I've had it happen to me many a time, unfortunately, where somebody's giving it all the, oh, soul family and that, and it's actually people that are trying to get close to you because they're jealous and trying to energy vampire and whatever other fucking weird shit people do out there. Again, you got to be careful, me included. Like, yeah, like she ignores all the warning signs. And I'm just trying to think, does she eventually meet the guy? I don't think she does, you know, because the whole point is she meets him because it's a train or something. Yeah, I haven't seen it for ages. I'm like, I love that film, but I'm like, I'm actually dying to watch it again. I think I might need to get the DVD or something. But yeah, there's something like that, you know. It's like you've chose the karmic path where somebody's like doing you dirty, whether it's quite literally like that, and the other person would just treated you like a dream. Because the nice guy that she treated is like amazing, and the other one's just a fucking coward. The other one's like, look at my face, like he's just like, and the girl he's getting on with isn't even like she's just fucking annoying, Lydia. Like it's yeah. Anyway, it's an oldie but a goodie, guys. Nobody wants the Spanish Inquisition. That's the thing that they say, isn't it? Not all connections are meant to be except closure. Close the door on the karmic one if you've recognised it, that, whether it's romantic or anything. Doorway. An opportunity is about to present itself that leads you to a new person. And the new person might just be the love of your life. And for some people, this is not a new person. It is an old flame that you're returning to or that you're returning to them. But you are like brand new people because you've went through the fires to transform to be the Phoenix Rising, which if you look in my description box, that is what I do. I help empower you with soul retrieval until you are that Phoenix Rising. Help empower you to empower yourself. Right, okay, so why am I getting the thumbnail when it's the fucking end of the night? I look like a bag of shite anyway. I'll value myself like I put in the title. That's why I've got wrinkles, because I'm so expressive. I'm like, that's all I can see. Right, I need to see the delay. So if you liked what you saw here, I can do this personally for you in a Venus retrograde session. You can get that at my 144 price if you if you book that before it disappears. I don't know when I'll take it away. I just put it there today. But Venus retrograde ends, it's not even began yet, but you know what I mean, the pre-shadow of it, the post-shadow will end mid-May. Can't see me keeping that there till mid-May, but I might keep it there till we come out of it. Probably when it goes direct. But I don't know. Again, I'm not, no guarantees. I just do it. I'm just guided to put these up because it gives people a chance to get things for a bit of money off. But like I said, more so than not, they're like, don't do that because I've got to value that. I've been at this a hell of a long time, a lot longer than loads of other twin flame healers out there. And there's loads of great ones, but you can't, that's one thing you can't catch up with. You know, like there's loads of people I really respect out there too, but I haven't really seen anyone that's got the depth of experience that I've got. You know, I'm not saying they're not out there, but I'm just saying I've not seen them, and I do, you know, I follow a lot of people, but and I respect them, and also can I just say I've actually not went to people because they've got. I have went to people knowing they've got less experience than me, and I've had mixed experiences with that. I've said before, I'll leave it at that. But I've had many experiences where the lack of experience has really showed. But it doesn't mean it was overall. Like I know why I was led to certain people. And I can even think of one person I'm talking about with that. Yeah, absolutely what I just said. The lack of experience showed in quite huge ways actually. But um it was definitely we met for a reason, and but there were some things that that person helped me with that I would be grateful till the day I die. So you know what I mean, it's kind of like that's why I just like to say that it's not, things aren't always black and white. And then you know, I always know I'm led to people for a certain reason, just like people will be led to me for a certain reason. But that's the one thing I will sort of back myself with. I'm talking Love Island, so that's my sign. I need to go and watch Love Island when I'm using all the terms from it. It's just but yeah, I have got a lot of experience from this actual life, but past lives too. And past lives are one of my favourite things. But again, I'm not the only person. There's lots of lovely people that can help you on this journey, men and women. So if I'm not your cup of tea, go and find somebody that is. But like I said earlier, I'd rather be somebody's shot of whiskey than everyone's cup of tea. So I'll leave it on that note. See you later. See you tomorrow. I'm actually struggling to find the end button. Here it is. Maybe you're